Welcome everybody to We Geek Podcast. Today is November 21st, 2018, episode 154. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What's up, man? It's been a few weeks. It's all my fault. I apologize. Life finds a way to screw things up for me. Yeah, man, I wasn't feeling good. I had an earache, just all sorts of crazy stuff. Happened to me in the last week or so, but we're here. We're here to talk about some nerdy stuff. I'm excited. Before we get into all the geeky stuff that happened this week, we definitely have to talk about a few people here. A few people passed away since we've talked. William Goldman and Stan Lee. And yeah, let's just take a minute to kind of dive into that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I hate this crap. You know, I really do. Stan was not tremendously unexpected. I'm trying not to be like heartless about it because he was, what was he, 95,
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was 95.
I mean, hell, you can and still up and about. Like that's what was nuts. Like he was still getting up and doing things, and it's like I'm not even a third his age, and some days I cannot find it in me to get out of bed. Like,
right.
I'm just it's sad. It's absolutely sad.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you know what? I mean, you know what else can you say that hasn't really already been said?
Yeah.
I know some of the headlines went a little far. They're like, the creator of Marvel Comics has passed. I was like, well, hang on, let's, you know,
He's kind of the father of Marvel Comics.
The way I've always seen it is that there were 5. You know, you had the big 5 back in the day. And some people say 3, I say 5. You had Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko were arguably the biggest 3. But you also had, was it Larry Lieber, who was Stan's brother, and John Romita Sr.
Yeah.
Like, those to me were the 5 kind of godfathers of the Marvel Universe.
Right.
And John and Larry are the only 2 left now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, Jack's been gone for a long time, and I think Steve died earlier this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He I know it hasn't been long, but...
He did, yeah. Both Steve Ditko and Stan Lee passed away this year.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, it's always, you know, I've seen some interviews with him. He, at least from what I've seen, maybe a long time ago he wasn't like that, but from the interviews that I've seen with like Kevin Smith and whatnot, he was the first to say it was a collaborative thing with what he did with Spider-Man and a few of the other characters, obviously.
Yeah, it always seemed like in his later years he was. It seemed like as he kind of was winding down and saw, like, you know, he hit 90 and everything, and you're like, just how much time do I have left? He got to that place of being okay with himself to make peace with, I went too far with this, and I he came out and admitted his faults, and wasn't just the first person who would then step up and say, oh yeah, I worked on this with Jack, worked on this with Steve. He was also the first person who would say, and I should have been saying this all along.
Right.
So I mean, there's nothing on, who are we to judge? It wasn't us. I mean, we're not.
But he became the icon. He became the face of what we know Marvel is now.
That's true.
And he is, he's the guy that, people who are not even into comic books, our parents and, grandparents aunts and uncles and people just don't that are not never picked up a comic in their life. Maybe they know Stan Lee. They recognize him every time they see those movies.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they've asked you, they've asked me, well, give me a little history. What's why what's oh, he created he's just I think I heard Kevin Smith say this. 200 years from now, no one will know our names, but they'll know Stan Lee.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
And
the modern mythology that he was behind, it's crazy, and he's definitely one, like you said, of that. What would it wouldn't be the golden era of comics, would it? But
the creation, the beginning, basically,
Yeah.
the start of when comics became what
Right.
they are today. Because I mean, they were serials before then. They weren't, I mean, everything was almost comic strip at that point. And even the collections of comics, the little nickel for the magazine, I mean, they weren't anything near like what they are today. And they kind of started that.
Oh yeah.
They were there at the beginning of what became the modern comic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And for as long as he's been around, I mean, I listen, like I said, I highly recommend anyone listening to this go listen to Kevin Smith's Batman Beyond podcast, regarding Stan Lee, where they talk about, he talks about his personal knowing Stan for as long as he has, and
Yeah.
how he never forget how he remembered his name, and but like even talking about like racism and stuff back in the 60s, when a lot of other people weren't.
Yeah.
All the things that he did to kind of push things forward regarding all of that, in the medium that he knew, that he was in. It's crazy to think what he's touched, how many people he's touched with the work that he did with Marvel. So it's crazy. He's definitely going to be missed. I don't think. I also don't think the cameos are going to stop. They'll figure out ways to put him in posters and stuff in the movies.
I always love the idea, because I know he's filmed through Avengers 4.
Yeah.
And there's probably even a Dark Phoenix cameo, because it was supposed to have come out, 3, 4, 5 years ago by now.
Yeah.
But so we haven't I know we haven't seen the last of the stuff he's officially.
Oh no,
done.
He's in Spider-Man and he's in Captain Marvel. They announced that.
So I guess Spider-Man will probably. I guess Far From Home would probably be the last one that'll come out.
And from what I understand, they shot a bunch of cameos that they could put in movies.
Yeah, and that's.
I read that. I don't know how true that was.
I'm not sure about that.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it really doesn't. It seems
I think
like
it'd be easy just to make it like a poster or a graffiti.
Yes.
Or just like they did in where he was like a police officer.
Yeah, it was Daredevil season 1. It
Daredevil,
was he was like cop of the month or whatever on the wall. It was great.
I think that's how you do it, I liked how he was talking to the Watchers.
Yeah.
And I would not be opposed if they had like a a fishbowl helmet on him or something like that, and you heard him say Excelsior, stuff like that. I could see them totally keeping that alive for him.
I always liked the Tumblr idea of having Deadpool do them just as just in the suit, but with the khakis and the sweater, and like the fake, the mustache, the aviators, the wig, the whole thing, but still be in the Deadpool suit. Like I think I don't know, like I thought that's funny to me.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Absolutely. Did you? Don't want to jump too far ahead, but did you see the trailer for the new Deadpool movie this Christmas?
Yeah.
It was great. I loved the jabs.
I mean, it's they run the risk of being a little too meta, I think. There is such a thing even for Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm excited. My friend, her kids love Deadpool, and they're fucking young, so it's crazy. And I'm glad that she can take them to an appropriate Deadpool movie, with it being PG-13. So
it's going to be interesting to see just how far they've pushed that PG-13 envelope.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I love that no F's given. It's like, oh yeah, they can't do that.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so man, he's gonna be missed. Like I said, it was definitely interesting hearing Kevin Smith's point of view, where he was one of us for so long, just seeing him at a distance, and then actually knowing him in his personal life. And he talks about how he's like, I guess he was neighbors with Leonardo DiCaprio. Like randomly brought it up in conversation. Kevin Smith thought that was so fascinating. He's like, yeah, Leonardo came over. It's like, what? Yeah, so I don't know. It's yeah, like you said, he you kind of thought he was going to live forever, right? With how
I mean, he was just one of those guys who was just like, oh, and Stan's another year older. It's like, oh yeah, of course he is. Like you just never expected it, and also because he never changed. Right. That's part of the thing. Like for the last, I don't know how many years, like 20 years, he's looked exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that always adds to it. We're like, yeah, but he never changes.
I'm glad I got to meet him and say hi and thank him for all the stuff that he put out. It's I'm glad I was able to do that, because I was thinking, like, who can say they met someone who gave them such joy and whatnot through childhood, and I'm glad I was able to do that a few years back. And it's crazy to think he must have still been in his 90s, because it was only like 3 or 4 years ago that I did that. That's crazy. But yeah. And I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite cameo for Stanley?
Oh boy.
I don't mind.
Oh man, God, there's been so many. Oh man. I don't know. I think I have to go with I think I have to go with the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh really?
Yeah, just him in the library, just completely oblivious to the brawl behind him. I don't know. I'm like, that one always made me smile.
Homecoming's pretty good too. I like the "Hey, how's your mother?" because that's every New Yorker.
Yeah, that's true.
Mine's a toss-up, I guess. I love the Guardians one where he's talking to the Watchers. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And he's just telling them stories, and it's like, that's kind of how they could immortalize Stan Lee in the Marvel Universe, is this guy just telling these stories.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite is Ant-Man and the Wasp, where he's like,
where he's part of the story.
The 60s were fun, but boy, I'm paying for it now. Probably my favorite. His car just disappears. Like, that was hilarious when I saw it. I thought it was so funny. But yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna miss him.
Yeah. And William Goldman too, man. That one came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
Like that one I did not see coming, and that sucks.
No, definitely not. How old was he?
He wasn't terribly old, I don't think. I don't have that in front of me.
Oh, okay.
But
he was 87.
Oh, it was a lot older than I thought he was.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah. It was, I think, pneumonia in the end. I know he hadn't been well off and on the last couple of years from what I had read. But, I mean, he gave us The Princess Bride. What more do you need?
Yeah.
Like, that's, along with so much other stuff that he's been a part of and things that he's done. I mean, there was All the President's Men, which was, come on, that's a hell of a movie.
Right.
But, I mean, to have written because, I mean, he wrote The Princess Bride and then he did the screenplay. Seems like nobody else, nobody else did it or wanted to do it or thought it could be done, so he did it.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, what else can you say? I mean, that by itself is something that'll last forever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Princess Bride for sure. You see that in every AMC you walk into.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was looking over his body work. It's crazy.
And I mean, there's so much other stuff that he's written, like not screenplays, that I didn't know about.
Oh, really?
Have
Oh, wow, he's uncredited on, oh, wow, Twins, A Few Good Men,
yeah.
Decent Proposal, Last Action Hero.
Yeah, he was. I think he was what some people call a script doctor.
Yeah.
For a while. It seemed like it anyway. There was always
Right.
it always seemed like he was one of those
Clean
people
this up.
that just yeah, exactly. Just
Make
come
this
in,
presentable.
yeah, come in, do 2 weeks of work on this. Here's your check. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, there's really no way to shift out of this.
So let's talk about Detective Pikachu.
Yes, let's talk about Detective Pikachu. Okay, so I have to admit, I definitely was more harsh on this for so long than I probably should have been. Because I've kind of turned around on it. Well, let me ask you, what did you think of the trailer?
I still don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely turned around on it. I hate that they went this direction. I still do.
I mean,
really wish they went with your typical Pokemon journey story that we all played the games through.
Yeah, but I've always understood why they didn't. I've just never liked it. Like, I mean, I get it. They have the animated show and the animated movies and all that stuff that's already covering that, and so I get it. So they came at it from a different angle. I just don't know, man.
I was not prepared for how much lore they were going to throw into that trailer.
That's true. That's a fair point there.
I was not prepared for how much world building and those stills of the, just going through the trailer of those quick flashes of the world. I was not prepared for that. I was expecting your everyday world where it was like San Francisco and a few Pokemon things thrown in with like Pokemon living with humans.
Yeah.
But this was everything from the games. And I want to definitely be wrong about this. You know what I mean? I want this to be actually huge. I want this to be the gateway drug for them to make a proper Pokemon movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm still not the Ryan Reynolds voice thing is it's. I think it would have been better if it was Danny DeVito, like everyone says. But I hope that I don't know. I mean, I know a year ago or however long we were talking about it, I was like, I hope this bombs and blah blah blah. But I've definitely turned around on it. I actually like the way the Pokemon look.
I see that's the biggest thing that I don't know about, because in some shots
really?
they look amazing, and then in some, like when you see Pikachu bouncing around and stuff, you're like, oh, okay, well that's neat. But then when it's a shot of him just sitting there, he doesn't look right. Like,
no?
it just, I don't know, like it just looks weird to me.
We're so used to seeing them as these cartoon flat, like.
Well, they look. Some of them look more. They look like slightly darker versions of what we're used to. Like there are.
It's the shadowing. It's giving them hair.
I don't mean like physically darker. I mean like they look like somebody on DeviantArt drew them. Like, that's the best way I can put it. Like, sometimes like I said, sometimes they look great. The little parade of Bulbasaurs, I love that. That was adorable. It was great.
Yes.
But when you have Pikachu just sitting there, like,
yeah.
it just looks, it doesn't look, it looks wrong. And I don't mean, like, as opposed to what we're used to. I just mean, like, it doesn't look like it fits itself. It looks...
You know that meme of the fox, like, sitting, like, on the side? It looks like he's sitting on the side of the bed, like, the day after a hangover?
Yes.
That's where, if they could go that direction, that's kind of what flashes in my head, too, as well, when I see them. Just because they, obviously they look unnatural. Because they are Pokemon, but it did. I agree with you. It took me a minute to just take in what I was seeing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Jigglypuff with the microphone and the marker. You know, there's a marker under there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all. I wasn't expecting that much lore.
I wasn't expecting people to dig up every piece of Pokedex trivia on Mr. Mime the way that they have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
The Mr. Mime part of it actually really did make me smile when I saw that.
It's I got it, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, these things have a sense of humor because of course they understand people.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't know, man, because some of these, I'm not sold on some of these things looking so creepy.
Yeah.
Because they don't look. I mean, you know, it sounds weird to be like, well, Pokemon don't look natural. Of course not. But they don't look natural in their own skin.
They don't. One part of, and I analyzed this trailer from top to bottom. I watched all the YouTube videos where people analyzed it as well, just to see what we could find. There's a scene where it's funny because like they're doing like a parade in the background.
Yeah.
Where they're blowing up a Gengar float, and they're blowing up a Jigglypuff float, and the people that are holding the balloon that are getting it ready are dressed in the colors of those Pokemon, and one of them's clearly a Squirtle. So you're and the floats are the cartoonish versions of the Pokemon we see.
Sure, that makes sense.
But then there's a Psyduck just standing there staring at the camera.
Well, because it's a Psyduck. Like, what else would it do?
It's so unsettling because you're right. If you saw that in real life, you would be like, "What on earth is that?"
It made me think of I cannot remember. Greg Davies, who's a British comedian. He's got a special on Netflix where he talks about E.T. and he says it's a wonderful film, and he saw it, you know, when he watched it with his brother recently whenever that special was done. So I guess it was sometime this year or last. And was like he said, I thought, you know, he's like, I felt like a child again, and so on. And he said, my brother ruined that film for me in one sentence.
Wait, what movie?
E.T.
Okay, gotcha.
He said, you know, if I went out to my shed and saw something like that there, I'd stove its head in with a shovel. And it made me think of that because it's not entirely wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your first, unless you knew what the, like, imagine if you were just out walking around somewhere and a Psyduck just waddled up to you and you had no idea what it was.
Yeah, you'd be freaked out, or Mr. Mime came out of the woods.
Cut. And especially, like, if you ran away from it and smacked into an invisible wall.
Yeah.
Like, you would cry. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
But it's not at the same time.
Yeah.
It's this.
It's bizarre.
It's very interesting. You're right. It's very bizarre. But I love all the little stuff they put into it. There's so many things I did not catch even the first time watching it. Like I said, I kind of went through those videos on YouTube where they were like, they'd pause it and you're like, it shows all these Pokemon. I'm like, holy shit, this world is just filled with them.
Well, yeah.
And all the different regions and everything are all on display on his posters and on signs and everything else.
Yeah.
I get, because I've never played the Detective Pikachu game. Most people haven't. And I guess it takes place in a city where you don't do Pokemon battles. That's why they're at like an underground one in the trailer.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's why it looks like that. So, you know, I've definitely turned around. I'm gonna go see the movie. I know I talked a big talk about not doing that, but I'm definitely turned around about it. So I definitely what's the phrase? I put my foot in my mouth.
You're eating. You got to eat your words, I guess.
I got to eat my words now. Because I was shocked at how entertaining that trailer was, and I hope this is the gateway. Because you know, towards the end, when they show the thing, it says Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
I hope this is like the first. You know, like here's the Detective Pikachu movies. Maybe this is like they're gonna do their whole, you know, what would you call it? Cinematic universe of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like this is the first one, and then maybe we get one with Ash or Red or whatever.
They could.
down the road. But yeah, no, oh man, yeah, I was actually just in awe of how much they put into that little trailer.
Yeah.
Have you seen the poster?
Yeah, no, I saw the old poster. I haven't seen. Did they have a new one now?
Yes, go look up the Detective Pikachu poster, and
Okay.
it's what do you call it? It is just chocked full of Easter eggs.
All right.
Like,
Let's see here.
yeah, I don't know if you can pull it up.
Yeah, it'll take me a second.
Yeah, like they have Machamp's Gym, Mr. Mime, One Night Only, Unova style, so that's like, the Unova region, the Moo Moo Milk, the Johto Sports Club, the
Oh,
Eevee
yeah,
Salon.
yeah. I did see this one. Yeah.
And you see the graffiti there? The M2.
Yeah. Ah, that's cute. What's on
There's
me?
just Rhyme City Rail, like there's just, and I think Rhyme City is the city they're in.
Yeah. Jade Puffco. What's all on this thing? Pokemon, Charizards, Johto Sport Club, Snap. Ah, there's a Pokemon Snap Easter egg. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I'm in. They threw a Snap Easter egg in. Yeah, sold.
They're like, they really are. If you look up, there's a Charizard up in the sky, I believe. They've really packed this full. They've filled the world out as if it is this massive world of Pokemon in it, and it's definitely made me turn around on it.
I'll give them credit. They put more into this than I was expecting. I thought this was they were gonna be pretty much the only, he was gonna be like almost the only Pokemon you ever saw.
Exactly. I was expecting him and like maybe 5 others.
Yeah.
Look, the Pokemon Daycare, like they've really put a lot into this. So I don't know. I'm definitely turned around. I'm on board to see it, of course, now, but I'm not. Ooh, man, I just hope it doesn't bomb now. I hope that we get a big, cinematic universe of Pokemon. And if there's any of them that they could do, Pokemon would be the one to do it because there's so many stories you could tell in it.
Oh yeah.
And then you can bring them together. Detective Pikachu can meet the other Pikachu. But yeah. Well, we jumped right into that. Do you want to talk about some of the box office stuff first?
Yeah. As was expected, Fantastic Beasts came in at the top. Also, as expected, it didn't really do all that well, considering. 62 million was not the opening that they wanted.
Yeah.
Especially considering the Grinch only fell to about 38.5 million.
Oh wow.
That was. I'll tell you what, man. We had more people for the Grinch on Sunday than we had for anything else.
Oh wow.
Bohemian Rhapsody still chugging along, 16 million.
Yeah.
Instant Family was one of the other debuts, 14 million, 14.5. That wasn't surprising. Widows, 12 million, also not surprising. That one looks good though. That's one I want to see. Like the cast and with Steve McQueen directing, I'm down for that.
Yeah. Now. Okay.
It's a pretty stacked card.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I want to go see Fantastic Beasts. I heard mixed things. Have you seen it?
I saw it this weekend.
You're a big Harry Potter mark. What'd you think?
J.K. Rowling is okay. I'll say this, and I said this on Facebook, but I'm gonna say it on the show too.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a kid, okay?
Uh-huh.
And there's a creator out there who makes this incredible universe for you to get lost in, and it's amazing. And then imagine a handful of years later, they decide, hey, we should do some prequels.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all over again.
Oh, it's Star Wars prequels all over again? Is that what you're saying?
Rowling is going very Lucas with the prequels.
Oh no.
It's so, oh man, there are also some legitimate canon issues that are, I mean, some of them are strange, but there are some that just genuinely make no sense.
Okay.
There's a character, I won't. There's a character in Fantastic Beasts that is 20s ish, maybe 30s, something like that,
Okay.
who hadn't been born yet.
Oh.
So it's
Oh.
it's not a thing of like where they do, because they do name drop a lot, because some of it takes place at
Are,
Hogwarts, so they name drop.
do you think they're gonna explain that?
They're gonna have to,
It
because
can't be like a 6-1 screw up,
it,
right? Like
no, it's got to be, it's, and like I said,
timey
it's not.
wimey or something.
Yeah, and because it's like they do name drop a lot, but it's some of them are like, oh, these are students, and they have the same last name of students who were at Hogwarts later, because it's probably like their grandparents or something.
Well, let me
Those are,
ask you, as someone who knows maybe 4 or 5 of the names that went to Hogwarts,
you'll know.
will I recognize any of them?
Yes. Oh, yes. Well,
Okay.
maybe not so much the students. But the one that I'm talking about is kind of just dropped in there, sort of. It not inconsequentially, because they do have a purpose, but it's not a
Okay.
big one. They're very much a side character.
Gotcha.
And they're not in the movie for more than like a minute, but
Okay.
it's a character that's like not even supposed to be there yet.
Oh, I
So
wonder why. Are they time traveling or something?
I don't know, man.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to see it. That's one I want to go see for
It's
sure.
I'll say it is a fun ride that I just I don't.
Well, remember, I mean, we've talked about the first one. I know you liked the first one, but I was a little disappointed in it. It felt too dark. It didn't feel like it had the magic of the
You
original movies.
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, I imagine this is going to be more of that.
It is, and then
Yeah.
some, and there's less. They
Well,
this
I mean,
on
the original movies had those kids. That's what got me in, were those 3 characters, and of course, Haggard.
Yeah,
Or, I'm
and
saying his name wrong.
yeah. Well, and the thing about the first one though
Hagrid.
was
That's it. Jesus. Oh my
yeah,
God. Haggard. No, but Hagrid, he was probably my favorite of them, and I can't remember his name. But yeah, those kids were they got me in. And
right.
that's what I think the original, or I'm sorry, the Fantastic Beast was missing.
Well, but here's the thing. In the first one, at least they tried to build some of these characters.
Yeah.
They lay a foundation for them that and the second one just doesn't follow up on that.
Oh, okay.
I don't I came out. This is weird because it's a movie that when I was done watching it, when I went out of the theater with the crowd,
Yeah.
my initial reaction was that was really cool. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And then the more that I've thought about it, the
Yeah.
more problems I have with it. Because
Yeah.
you pick up on, I'm like, oh yeah, and remember when this happened? But wait, that can't be right. Oh, but then what about this? Well, hang on, this doesn't make any sense.
Turn your
Like,
turn your brain off.
Yeah, you kind of have to. And I don't know. It's I don't know. They want to make 5 of these.
Ooh.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I just it is like I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, where's the Jar Jar? Who's it gonna be? Like it's bad.
Well, it seems like it's this time traveling person that shouldn't be there.
I don't know. I don't know. It's,
What if Harry Potter's kids are time traveling to the past?
I tell you what,
Pop
that
up
would
in
have.
the fifth one.
I would have been fine with that.
That would be a
oh,
cool
wait,
surprise, huh?
Well, except that was pretty much the plot of the play. So
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
yeah, and it broke reality. So I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's why most people
Yeah,
don't talk
okay.
about the play.
So
'cause
they
it was
travel
awful.
back to the past. Then they explain that they have the Phoenix Force in them.
You joke, but you have no idea how not entirely wrong you are.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. There is a Phoenix in
In Harry Potter.
in
Yes,
Harry
there is.
Potter lore, and it cries and it heals or something. I forget.
See?
But that's funny. I accidentally stumbled across that. But man, yeah, I've been. I think we talked about this before. I've been reading a shitload of comics,
Yeah.
and one of them was Old Man Thor against Old Man Logan, and Logan has the Phoenix Force,
Yeah,
which is sick.
that's still just such a weird concept to me.
It's so cool, man. Marvel Comics right now has some of the best comics that it's ever done. And what sucks is less people are reading it. I think, what was it, a year ago they had such a problem with people dropping out because nothing seemed, they couldn't catch on to anything.
Yeah.
Readers couldn't catch on to what they just weren't picking up what Marvel was putting down. But now it's like, oh man, now is such a good time to jump on. They just did Uncanny X-Men #1 right now, so it's a good time to jump on if you're an X-Men fan. They're doing such crazy stuff with Thanos, and like I said, Thor is amazing right now. The Cosmic Ghost Rider is crazy, which is basically the Punisher becomes the spirit, whatever you call it, the spirit of
The Spirit of
vengeance.
Vengeance, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these stories they almost feel like what ifs. Like, what if we combined these characters? They're even doing it in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline that they're doing, where Gamora basically in Soul World she combines two universes together. So you have the Black Queen but Wolverine, like all these other crazy things. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. There's a lot of fun comics right now with Marvel. I would highly recommend jumping in if you fell off.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good spot to jump into with the X-Men stuff. I've been going through some back stuff because I also got the Marvel app, the
Unlimited, yeah.
Marvel Unlimited. So I've been going through the Hunt of Wolverine. What is it called? Weapon H. Have you seen that?
I've heard of it. Like, it sounds familiar, but I don't know anything about it.
It's essentially basically they restarted the Weapon X program, but they are mixing it with Hulk stuff. Weapon H. That's why they call it with the H.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Because
And
that'll
so,
go well.
yeah. So basically, there's like 1,000,000, or there's like 100 failed experiments, but one catches, and it's and for a while it was kind of a mystery of who it was, but he's not really anybody that you know. It's a new character, and he can grow big like the Hulk. He doesn't work off anger. It's more fear, and it's the fear of him losing his wife and his kids and everything else. But basically, he can Hulk up, and he has adamantium lace skeleton and healing factor.
Okay, no, I immediately have a problem with that because how can you Hulk up and because the bones grow?
They explain that. Lady Deathstrike. They infused him with her abilities. So Lady Deathstrike has the ability to stretch her adamantium claws to different sizes.
Okay, so the adamantium stretches to fit the bones.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I forget if they replaced his bone like with Wolverine, or if it's just laced. I forget that, but they explain it essentially is that when he hulks out, his skeleton gets bigger too, along with his adamantium claws.
Okay.
So, and he doesn't have to hulk out; he can just use the adamantium claws. So, like, he's essentially Wolverine that can hulk out, and you can imagine how dangerous that is.
Yeah, it's a terrifying thought.
And his character actually ties into the War of the Realms, which ties into all that Asgard stuff I was telling you about with Thor and everything else, and how he becomes the guardian of Asgard, or Midgard. I'm sorry, because what's his face is letting in a whole bunch of demons and stuff like that. So his story. What's crazy about all this is all this ties in together. The Hunt for Wolverine, all this adamantium stuff, Wolverine coming back from the dead, his whole story, how that happened, all ties into the Thor stuff, all ties into the Thanos stuff. Like, they're all tying in together somehow. Which is crazy because they're all such weird stories and all very different. But it's this really weird time. It's like someone sat down at Marvel and was like, let's just tell fucking crazy stories and have a thin line through all of them that somehow they all connect. Because the War of the Realms, all that goes into all that later stuff with the Old Man Thor, Old Man Wolverine, and Weapon H and all that other stuff. So I don't know. It's been fun. It's been a fun ride going back and reading all this stuff. Uh, but yeah, no, I like I said, I kind of wanted to explore this part of Marvel Comics that I just completely left out the last few years. I
Yeah.
was busy reading Spider-Man or Avengers or like just older stuff that I saw the Wolverine stuff on the edge and I was like, it's too much stuff. There's too many comics to get. But now with the unlimited, I'm not. I spend $10 and I have all of these comics at my. I can just pull up on my phone and read them.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what I've been doing. That's been my entertainment for a few weeks. Oh yeah, but yeah, no. So I don't know. So that's what I've been doing. Sorry, we can get back to the movies. I don't know how I got sidetracked there. But next week, what's coming out next week?
Well, what comes out today,
Well,
actually?
I gotta blow my nose. So I'm gonna mute for just a second. But go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, what comes out this week, actually, it's an interesting duo and then a movie no one cares about. Because Creed 2 is going to be Creed 2 is going to do well. And I hope that it's good. I know I'm going to enjoy it regardless. So I'm just going to bank on that one. I'm pretty sure your big winner this weekend is going to be Wreck-It Ralph 2. Just, I mean,
Yeah.
because like I mean, there's no, it'll be, it won't be terribly close, but it's not going to be
Yeah.
a blowout either.
I'm pumped for Creed 2.
I'm super excited. Like as
Oh
soon
yeah.
as they announced it, I was excited. We got a big, one of those cardboard stands
Yeah.
up in one of our hallways, and it's 3 panels, and it's what is it? Legacy, Destiny, Family, and in the in Family's on the far right, and it's Donnie and her. In the middle panel, it's Legacy, and it's Donnie, gloves and trunks, like kneeling in the ring. And then the far left panel is Legacy, and it's Donnie, like in his, like in the hood, like the pre-fight hood, like the red one, with Stallone beside him. And I told him, I'm like, when we break this thing down, I'm taking that one. I want that left panel. Like I don't,
There you
I have
go.
nowhere to put it, but I don't care. I'm taking
Oh
that
yeah.
with me. I am super excited for this movie.
Heck yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. They can come out and the critics can also, like, it can have a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. I do not care. Like, I
Yeah.
don't give a damn. I'm gonna go see it and I'm gonna go have a good time. Um, but
Sweet.
and it's gonna do well. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But just Wreck-It Ralph 2 is just gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh
gonna
yeah.
suck having 2 big movies for Thanksgiving. I hate Thanksgiving. But anyway, and then Robin Hood, which nobody will go see, and they shouldn't because it looks terrible. I'm
Yeah, it
I
does.
I love everybody that's involved with this. I mean, Jamie Foxx is in it, and I like him. I even like his acting stuff, and I don't mean just like even since Ray. I liked his Electro. I did. It had issues, but I liked him.
I
Um,
wasn't a fan, but
I,
yeah.
but I mean, and Taron Egerton. I mean, come on, from Kingsman.
I liked him in Django though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, because I mean, Jamie Foxx is good.
But see, I don't like that. I don't like the Taron. I don't like that kid. I didn't. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I didn't like the kid. I didn't like that movie, The Kingsman. Well, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of it.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
But he's good. I like him. I think I almost want to say I think Ben Kingsley's in this too somewhere. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, this cast is fantastic, but God, this movie just looks terrible. It's
It looks like this is gonna sound stupid, but it looks like a knockoff Arrow.
yeah.
And it
No,
doesn't have the ties into DC, so it kind of loses me. And I know that sounds so stupid, but
the problem was they keep looking at these public domain stories and they're like, "Ooh,
yeah,
we can do another like dumb slow motion action kind of movie that people have not gone to see for years." Because I mean, last year it was King Arthur, and that bombed. This year it's Robin Hood. It's gonna bomb. I don't know
it's
what's gonna be next, but it's gonna bomb.
it's too old. We are in the age of comics,
I
and we haven't even covered a quarter of them yet.
Yeah, I think you could do I think if you found you could do a good Robin Hood story. The problem is the last good Robin Hood story was Men in Tights.
I see this generation looking at that at like that's something my grandfather enjoyed. Like I'm not excited if they announce a Zorro. I'm not excited if they announce a Robin Hood.
I
I
I
think we are spoiled with what we have these days, with these connected universes, with all this other stuff all of that. When you throw in this older story, it's like we have seen that a million times. We've even seen newer stuff like Spider-Man a million times.
yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like, who's excited for a Mickey Mouse movie? You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be big these days.
That's and no, and you're
Does
not.
that make sense?
You're no, you're absolutely right.
Like,
And
kids these days are going to be way more excited about, I don't know, uh, a different kind of cartoon. They're not going to be excited about Mickey Mouse, because I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, it's something that's so old. It's like we've all known it forever. We've seen it a million times. Give us something a little bit newer. That's at least how I see it when I see these movies that are coming out. Unless it's this like Christopher Nolan, just great dialogue, whatever. I'm gonna be turned off on it if it looks like this, if it looks like a knockoff, if it looks cheap. It's like, what are you gonna do different with Robin Hood that I haven't seen before? Unless
exactly.
it's a Men in Tights 2, I'm not gonna care.
Well, and even Men in Tights 2 is like, I don't want that.
But that was a different. That was a comedy. It was just
Right.
different.
That's the thing though. That's how do you do it differently? And that's why that's my problem with stuff like this. They're like, we
Yeah.
made a Robin Hood movie. I'm like, and I'm with you. I'm like, another one. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, what's different about this one?
Yeah.
Well, not really much of anything. Okay, then just don't. Like, you're
Yeah.
just gonna lose money. Instead, change the script around, tweak it somewhat, and don't call it Robin Hood.
Right.
Like, do something. If like, this to me just seems like we haven't done one of these in a while, and they
Right.
forget that there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it sucks. We see stuff like this. This is how many times we've done Robin Hood. Where's the Name of the Wind
Good.
show
Yeah,
or
right.
movie or something. We have so many newer things that you can do. It's like we've seen Robin Hood a million times. So I don't know. When I saw the trailer for that, I was like, oh, okay, that's something that I'm never gonna see. Maybe if it's on TV on FX or something, I'll catch the later half of it.
This is like the 5th Robin Hood that I can think of, because there was the Errol Flynn Robin Hood way on back in the day. There was Prince of Thieves, there was Men in Tights, and then there was the Disney animated Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there have been, I don't know how many others in between, but those are the 4 main ones that I can think of.
Right.
And here we are doing this again. And hell,
there was a Russell Crowe one, wasn't there? I mean, the Kevin Costner.
Oh my God, that was Robin Hood.
Yeah.
God, I totally forgot about that.
There was the Kevin Costner in the 90s.
And Russell Crowe did one like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's...
Wow, I totally forgot it, because it was Ridley Scott and it cost like $100 and some million.
Yeah, I never really saw it. I mean...
No, because it was an absolute catastrophe. Oh my God, that's right, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I like the Kevin Costner one.
Prince of Thieves is okay. Prince of Thieves is alright. It has some moments. I love Morgan Freeman. It really helps make that movie.
Well, I liked it in the time that it was told.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was like, okay,
yeah,
this is one of the first times I've seen Robin Hood, but now it's like, holy shit.
God, I completely forgot the Russell Crowe. Okay, so the 6 different Robin Hood movies. God, that's what I mean. They make these movies and people just forget about them.
It's been 8 years. Let's make another Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men in Tights is great. Dave Chappelle, it's good.
It's
the best one for sure.
No, I said achoo. No.
Yeah, it's so good.
No, I said no. Sorry, I got the wrong. No, I said Abe Lincoln. Hold the reins, man. Oh my God, I had this discussion with somebody the other night at my theater job, and it was somebody who was happy to lay down the nerd card all the time, and that's fine, whatever. But don't do that and then tell me you've never seen Holy Grail.
Oh, really?
Like, you don't? No. I don't. No. Give me that. You can have this back, and especially because I found something else out a couple weeks ago. All of Monty Python is on Netflix now.
Oh, really?
All of it. The movies, Flying
Holy
Circus, the
cow!
German version of Flying Circus, like 4 different documentaries about them.
Oh, wow.
There was the Live in Aspen special that they did for HBO. There was the tour that they did just a couple years ago, the performance at the O2 in London. What they call it, 1 down, 5 to go,
I'm
because
trying to think of which ones I've seen. Holy Grail, obviously.
yeah,
I've seen Life of Brian.
yeah. Really
The
the only
Meaning of Life, I
was
think, is another one.
it. Yeah, I didn't really care for Meaning of Life. Like
I'm just
it's
trying to think of ones I've seen though.
that's those are the
Those are the three that I think I've seen.
Yeah, the only other movie is, and now for something completely different, which is basically just movie versions of sketches from Flying Circus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
That's so ironic and that's funny.
it was a great because what they did was they made that so that they could try to sell the show over here.
Oh, okay.
They were like, well, we'll make this, and they tweaked some things here and there, and they polished some things, but it's
Hmm.
basically just a refilmed clip show
Right.
as a movie. And I mean, it's fun, it's fine, but I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
if you've watched the show, you're not getting anything new out of it. But that was
Right,
the
right.
point. Was like it was basically a demo tape.
Yeah.
It was a mildly expensive demo tape, but that's what it was.
Right, right, right.
But God, oh yeah, God, I love that Flying Circus is on Netflix. Like
Yeah.
that's just magnificent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I gotta see that again. It's been a while.
It's so good. And they have there is a great documentary series that's on there that came with this. It's Monty Python Almost the Truth.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's six parts, and they're each an hour, I think. And it's beginning to end for each of them. Like it's
Hmm.
oh, and the first episode is here's like the start of each of the 6 of them. Where did they grow up? What was their home life like? Blah blah blah. Like it's really well done documentary. And it's like 2 episodes on Flying Circus, and then 1 on each movie. And then of course the 6th episode is the meaning of life and kind of up to where they are now.
Oh,
And
okay.
it came out what, like 3, maybe like 3-4 years ago, maybe. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's still really relevant. But
Yeah.
it's interviews with them now, as well as some archived stuff and everything. It's so good. Oh, it's so
Hmm.
damn good.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah, check that out.
if you've got to, I highly recommend that. I absolutely recommend that.
Yeah.
Because again, I mean, and then it talks about, like how they made, how did these sketches get made and all this and that, and it tells the story of their meeting when they
Oh, that's cool.
when they finally went to the BBC to say we want to do a show.
Yeah.
And they sat down with whoever was the head of BBC, and they said, well, "What's the show called?" And they had no answer because they didn't
Oh, wow.
know. And so then he asked them, "Well, are you guys going to use a lot of film?" And they didn't have an answer. And they asked, "Are you guys going to have musical guests or anything?" And they didn't have an answer.
Oh, wow.
And John Cleese said it was probably the worst interview about a TV show everyone has ever had. And they all talked about how at the end of it, whoever it was that was the head of BBC got up and said, "All right, I'll give you 13 shows, but no more."
That's funny.
But it's so full of stories like that. It's fantastic. It's worth the time. Like I said, it's like 6 hour-long episodes, and it's so good. It's so damn good.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that stuff.
Yeah, it's all on Netflix. I mean all of it.
Let me ask you, totally random,
Sure.
totally separate. What did you think of the movie Congo?
What?
The movie Congo. Have you seen Congo?
Not in like 20 years.
Not in 20 years.
I don't.
I was just curious because I was talking with someone about it. I think I forgot how it was recently brought up. I think it was on like one of the Angry Video Game Nerd channel or whatnot.
Yeah.
But how do you remember that movie? Do you remember liking it?
I don't remember it at all.
Really? You don't remember Congo?
I don't. When did that movie come out?
In the 90s. It had Tim Curry in it.
Oh, like that I remember, but like God Almighty, yeah,
Yeah, the jumping-
95,
it
man.
had-
I wasn't
it had-
even kidding. Like it's been
And then the gorillas jumping into the lava and the lasers, and
Oh,
it had Amy, and it did sign language.
yeah, okay. I don't remember. I don't remember this movie at all. Like, I know I watched it because I remember like I know that I watched it a
They
very
had
long ass time
toys.
ago.
They had toys at Taco Bell.
Taco Bell had toys for all that kind of stuff. They had
Yeah.
Godzilla toys at Taco Bell. So
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, this came after, the Jurassic Park. So they thought this, I guess, is a what's his face, Michael Creighton, blah, uh, wrote the book Congo, and they were like, well, hey, Jurassic Park was a hit, let's do this one. And Kathy Kennedy produced it. Like all the people behind E.T. and all of those films did this movie. But it was I remember enjoying it as a kid. That's why I was asking you. It was something that I remember seeing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I remember we rented it, and I was like, oh, what a great movie. Apparently, it's terrible. Apparently, it's just from head to toe terrible, and I'm interested in watching it again.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's got Jodan Baker in it, so I mean,
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Tim Curry. One of the questions that they asked on that show was, who do you think has more action figures, Tim Curry or Ernie Hudson?
That's a good question.
I think it's got to be Ernie Hudson. There's way more Ghostbuster action figures out there than anything.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times do you think they've redone stuff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure he's got a few It.
He'll have some from It. He'll have, I don't know, they've probably done stuff from Brutal Legend.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I know it's totally random, but we were talking about older movies and whatnot, so maybe.
God, that's holy hell! Like, I mean,
Did you know there was a Jumanji TV show?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was I really hope it was a cartoon.
Yeah, it was a cartoon. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a lot of those, and that only ever ran for like a season or so.
Yeah. Oh man, Tim Curry was in Duckman, the video game.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, Tim's been around, man. Tim has done a lot of voice roles.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, look,
Real monsters.
We've done some out of left field tangents on this show, but holy good God, man.
I'm sorry. I totally just went off the rails with that.
I'm going to have to find a TV show from like, hey, do you remember Wings? Like, did you ever see Wings back in the early 90s?
I didn't realize Congo was such a forgotten thing. I thought everyone's seen it before.
God.
Yeah.
Apparently
not. Every gorilla in there was not real, and it was all in a suit. And now I don't remember that. I thought some of them were real in my head, so I need to go back and watch it. I just remember her saying Amy, and that was her name. But anyway, let's get back. My bad. Let's get back.
Let's get
back on the rails here.
Back to this century.
Yes, back in this century. Let's talk about some movies that are going to be being made. Like Breaking Bad. Apparently, a movie based on the series begins filming in New Mexico this month.
Yeah, so it's filmed under the codename Greenbrier. Apparently.
I wonder what they're going to do.
It's probably going to be Jesse. It's probably going to follow what happens to him after.
Yeah, it would have to be Jesse.
Yeah.
But that'd be interesting. I'm in. I want to see it. Love Breaking Bad. Did you see the trailer for Toy Story 4? There's a couple of them.
I saw like the teaser where like they all went around in like the ring around the rosy kind of circle.
Oh, you didn't see the Key and Peele one?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I did. Yeah,
that was the best one. They should have led with that one.
I like the way they did it. Like they did the one as like an intro of like, oh, here's what the movie's going to be about. Like, what is this spork?
What is a toy?
Yeah, and I like that. I think that's an interesting way to look at this. Like I never thought about that. But
what if this? No, never mind. They would never do that.
They would no. down. There is one Woody and Buzz already. They don't need a second. Right. No.
But I loved the Ducky and Bear dude or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
No, it's gonna be. I was always on board for it. Like I was always gonna watch it, but now I'm like, oh yeah, this is okay. I get it. This could be great.
Yeah. How long ago was the last one? Oh
When
God, it was 8 years ago.
was it? 8 years ago? Really?
Eight
Wow.
years ago, 2010. Wow.
Not
Okay.
not quite as long ago as Congo was.
That's true. Everyone was mad at Tim Curry in that movie. If you ever rewatch it, which I'm sure you won't, but maybe
No,
you
probably
will.
not.
Everyone is mad at Tim Curry in that movie. Some guy even yells at him for eating cake. He's like, "Stop eating my cake!" I don't know. It's stupid. Anyway, back to back to these movies. I don't know. I thought the trailer was cool. I liked the Ducky one. We talked about Detective Pikachu at length here. And I'm a changed man. My foot is in my mouth. I think that's how the phrase goes. But the Ryan Reynolds voice is what really kind of threw me off. Because it's just Ryan Reynolds. It's just Deadpool.
It's true. Like
I hope there's some Deadpool jokes, or I'm sorry, some Pokemon jokes in the next Deadpool movie. There has to be now.
There may be one stuck into Once Upon a Deadpool.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's absolutely true. You're probably right. He's like, I can't. How many movies can I be in for the kids? But yeah. Let's talk about the Once Upon a Deadpool. PG-13 it's $1 from each ticket sold goes to fuck cancer.
Yeah, which they're renaming Fudge Cancer, which I thought was funny.
That's funny. And it comes out December 12th, and I think it's in theaters for a couple weeks, right?
I hope that's all.
Yeah, I think it's just a couple weeks, which is cool. This is I mean, I've never seen this happen before, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this works out. This is a way for them to, they nailed the rated R market. Let's see what they can do with this, if it does any dent. We got It Chapter 2, September 6th, 2019 release date announced.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that they were done filming and everything. And the first It did well in September. Like September was one of those months where like either nothing came out or everything that the studios knew nobody was going to go see anyway came out.
Right.
Summer was over, kids were back in school, like nobody was going. And then It comes out, last year, right? Yeah, 2017. And just obliterated the box office.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of everybody in the studios looked and went, huh, you can put out movies in September.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, well, I hope it does good. I didn't see it in the theater, but this one I probably will. Because I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah. It was good. I liked it. I enjoyed the first one. I'm looking forward to the second one. So.
All right. Go ahead and take the next one. I'm going to get a drink of water real fast.
Yeah, we got some casting news on Birds of Prey. Ewan McGregor is going to be Black Mask, which is an interesting pick.
See that?
Yeah, and Ella J. Basco is going to play the Cassandra Cain incarnation of Batgirl.
Oh, wow.
So, it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, Cassandra Cain.
Yeah.
Damn. Have you been watching Titans?
I have not.
Did I give you the password and everything for it?
Yeah, you did. I saw the first episode and I was like, okay, this is what they're going for.
I did not like the first one.
I didn't really either, but I'm hoping that changes.
I don't know why, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, then there you go.
I think it's once they get together and they're the Titans, I'm starting to enjoy it. Can I throw some spoiler in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
They introduce Jason Todd. That's where I was like, oh shit, man, we're going into some Batman stuff here.
Okay.
We're going into some lore here. And he's a fucking asshole.
Well, I mean, that's why they killed him.
Yeah, no, but I never remembered him being this much of an asshole when he was Robin. But they really are setting him up to he's beating up cops and all this. He's Tim Drake or Dick is like, whoa, something's wrong here. Like, you're fucking crazy. Like, you're like, what is Bruce doing giving you the Robin suit? But yeah, like, I thought that was so cool. And they're really going into some DC lore shit with who the bad guys are and stuff like that. I won't go too much into that, but like, it's surprising. It's, I think this is a reaction to people being like, Teen Titans Go, the movie, it's so cartoony and kids and blah blah blah. Like, if you were upset about that, this is the Titans for you, because it's like the complete opposite direction. I could also see it turning people off too, where they're like, "That's not the Titans I remember."
I think the problem is that it's DC saying, "Hey, our DC films are dark and gritty. We should do that with our shows."
It's true. That's what they're doing. And it is a turnoff, especially the first episode. I was like, "Oh, this is so dark and cheap for like a YouTube show."
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm in comic mode right now. I've been reading a shitload of comics recently, and for whatever reason, I never was a big fan of the Titans to begin with. So like, I have no love for Starfire or Beast Boy or any of these really characters, or Raven. But I don't know what episode they're on now, like 5, 6, or 7 or something like that. But
Something.
it felt like, I don't know. I felt like I'm watching a CW show, like more like a Riverdale, but like they cuss and there's a lot of violence. And I don't know. It definitely caught. I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the next one now. And especially when they introduced Jason Todd, because it was like, oh, this could get really interesting, because they could easily make him, Red Hood in season 2.
Yeah, or 3.
Or 3. Yeah.
I would think that would be like, kill him in season 1. Take the, spoilers for anybody who doesn't know who Red Hood is.
Right.
Kill him in season 1, take the time off for season 2, maybe build a little mystery, like a little, like a not even a B story, but like a C story,
Right.
laying the foundations of this thing, and then have him pop up in season 3.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's where I totally see this going, and they're really setting that up with who the bad guys are too, and how they can brainwash and stuff like that. And I could totally see his character getting caught, brainwashed. They think he's dead, and then he's back as the Red Hood. And Dick Grayson has now gone from like the last episode I saw. She's like, "How many Robins are coming home?" And he's like, "None." So like, I think like soon he will be Nightwing. Which is kind of cool. It's like they're pushing forward really fast what they're doing, and I like that. I think that's awesome. There was a Doom Patrol episode, which was really interesting. I don't know the Doom Patrol characters. I read the first volume, but these are like the classic Doom Patrol characters.
Yeah,
and it was interesting. They're like just. It was very weird.
Yeah, I told you, man. It's a weird series.
The Elastic Girl is not like, she's like falling apart if she doesn't eat a lot of fat, and it was just, it was weird. But that's how they really introduced Beast Boy and stuff like that, which I guess is true from the comics. He was in Doom Patrol first, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I buy that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think this kind of show, it's gonna be better season 2 when they add a few more characters. They really become like an actual team. That's what's starting to happen now. They're starting to kind of trust each other and whatnot. Raven just is a crazy person they don't understand at all. But the other ones kind of know their powers, and it's cool to see him go from Robin to now Nightwing. But I don't know. It's been interesting. So I wouldn't give it up just yet. If you're bored and you have nothing to do, check it out. But I don't know. It was interesting. I guess it's because I'm reading all the comics. If I also picked up some of the recent Batman comics where Dick Grayson was shot, and now he doesn't know who he is, so he's no longer Nightwing.
Okay. Oh yeah, you tell me about that.
Yeah, in the recent comics of Batman, and he has a scar on the side of his head now. It looks like a Nightwing symbol. It's so cheesy, but it's good. It's good. It's really good. Anyway, where were we? Birds of Prey. Okay, yeah. Johnny Quest. They're making a Johnny Quest movie. I forgot all about this.
Yeah, that was a thing that like they announced and everybody went ha 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 ha, ha and it went away, and now it's back again.
Yep.
Chris McKay, who did the Lego Batman movie, is going to direct it.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's somebody from Warner Brothers working on a Warner Brothers property. There's a surprise.
Yeah. Well, we'll get that. Well, we're rebooting Shrek as well.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Because it is, but it isn't. It's been
Okay.
described as a revamp because they want to get the original voice cast back. Like, it's not gonna be a sequel, it's just gonna be like, okay, that story is over, so let's tell a different story that's not connected to the old story, probably.
Right.
That kind of thing, I would think. They are getting Chris Meledandri to do it.
Okay.
He's the bigwig over at Illumination. He was kind of the shepherd for Minions and all that. So I mean, he's, you know, it's a good choice.
Oh wow.
And they're gonna do Shrek and Puss in Boots because, you know, more spin-off potential and Netflix specials, and especially since they're wrapping up How to Train Your Dragon. You know, DreamWorks has to
Yeah.
do something.
Oh yeah.
But this isn't DreamWorks. It's still, well, but it's still Universal. I don't. Hell,
Go
I
back
don't
to the
know.
well.
Yeah, you know, if you want to talk about remakes, let's remake Shrek. Why?
Yes.
Like, just,
Oh yeah.
just
Now.
why?
Yeah, kids love Shrek. I mean, I can see it.
You know, I mean, because Michael Myers hasn't done anything in like 10 years, so you know.
That's true. Hey, let's do some more Austin Powers.
God, I don't even think that would work anymore.
Oh man,
I
I like how
don't.
we're just on total opposite ends of this because
Yeah.
I think it could.
I think here's the thing. I think that it would have a very small dedicated crowd, and I think they would
No.
love it. I think they would love it no matter what, and it would probably be a halfway decent movie if they.
Austin Powers was huge.
Yeah. Tell that to Goldmember.
It was huge though. I mean, if they brought it back after all these years, people would go see Austin Powers. I think.
I don't know. That could go either way for me. If they did, I wouldn't be surprised.
I
if
mean,
they didn't, I wouldn't be
now
surprised.
that I think about it, you're right because people didn't go see Dumb and Dumber,
That's right. Like,
and that was massive.
And it was like, no. We did this stupid sequel that was a prequel that everybody hated because it had different people and nobody was involved. And so
Right.
we went back and we got Jim Carrey and we got, you know, and we got Jeff Daniels, and we're gonna do this thing right. And it's the same duo, and they're just doing the same thing again, but they're older. And it's like, yeah, we don't want to see that. And that's what Austin Powers would be. I mean, what is left for them to parody at this point?
Right.
Like, I mean, they got old. Okay. I mean, I just, how, you know, can you really stand an hour and a half of Viagra jokes? Because that's what it would be. It would be an hour and a half of British Viagra jokes, and I couldn't take that.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, it came out right when Bond was super huge again.
Right, you had
So I get it.
It worked in balance for its time. You know,
Right.
they had the Bond resurgence, and so, you know, I mean, Michael Myers hit something there, and it worked, and it was funny. But
You know what should come back?
oh no, here we go.
Clerks 3.
He's working on that. He's working on a lot of stuff.
Put him in a GameStop or a comic book store.
Well, I
That's
mean, you
what I
know,
would want to see.
yeah, but I mean, AMC canceled Comic Book Men, so
I know. But so if they had a Clerks 3, what kind of store would you want them in?
I have no idea, man. I don't have a clue.
I think a GameStop would kind of be poetic for 2018.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Or a comic book store I think would be appropriate if they worked literally at a comic book store. Because then you can get all your comic book shit in. You get you know, Jason Lee and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, Birds of Prey, did you see the title?
Yeah, was it Birds of Prey? Yeah, because it was like handwritten in, and I thought that was great. It's
Yeah.
what Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of
The fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I love it. It's fantastic. Like, I'm in. Like,
Yeah.
sold.
That should be good.
But you know, I don't know. I don't know. Let's make new stuff. You know, even if it doesn't work, make new stuff. I know Kevin's
Right.
last couple movies have not been smash successes, but I've always admired the
Well,
fact that he's just said, "Screw it. I want to see this movie, so I'm gonna make it."
that's true, but if you did new Clerks, you could get enough money to make more new stuff.
He made when he made Tusk, he made enough money to make Clerks 3. When
Gotcha.
they sold the distribution rights to Tusk, you know, and that covered the movie and then some, and he had people coming up to him like, "Hey, what else have you got?" And so
Yeah.
he got funding to do Clerks 3. I think it's because it's a rights deal. Like there's a whole big snafu with like that's why he's not doing Mallrats.
Right.
Because there was going to be a Mallrats 2, and then that became a TV show, and then there's some strange rights issues. But it's why
He owns the rights to Jay and Silent Bob. I know that.
that's why the one that he's working on now is the Jay and Silent Bob
The
reboot,
reboot. Yeah.
which I think is gonna be funny. Like
Right.
I'm always there for whatever Kevin does, even if I'm not like I wasn't the biggest Yoga Hosers fan, but I didn't care. I was like, look, he wanted to make a movie, he made the movie. I can't fault him for that. Like
Right.
I respect that hustle.
Oh yeah.
But I like Tusk. I enjoyed Tusk. Tusk was creepy as hell.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
I don't know if it's still on Netflix anymore or not, but it's you know, I mean it's a Kevin Smith horror movie. So
Yeah.
so you know, I mean don't go in there expecting a masterpiece, but it's creepy. It's damn creepy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give him that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, what do we got else here? Oh, let's jump into some TV news. We got the final season.
Ooh, I do want to say one thing.
Okay.
I am hearing rumblings of a trailer dropping on Black Friday
For what?
for Avengers.
Oh.
I'm hearing rumors. I don't, take this with a grain of salt. It may not be a thing, but I am hearing rumblings. They may now I've heard things like this about other things before, and they've by and large been wrong. But take that as you will.
Oh, on Black Friday of all days.
There is a screening of there is a Q&A. There's one of those like we're screening a film followed by a Q&A for Infinity War, and it's in Chicago, and I think it's Wednesday. I think it's day before Thanksgiving. I think it's today. And there is the idea that it's going to premiere there, and then it'll drop on Friday.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. We'll see. This could all be like I said. Take this with a giant glacier of rock salt, but it might be something. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. I watched a little clip from the Elseworlds for the CW. Now, we've talked about how we just haven't really had time to watch the CW shows recently, the DC shows. Have you caught up with any of them yet, or are you still super behind?
I'm so far behind.
Oh yeah. Now, do you watch the events that they put on every year by chance?
No, I may watch this one though, because I saw what you were going to talk about, like there's like that little clip of Ruby Rose as Batwoman, and it looks badass.
It does. No, I didn't realize. So this Elseworlds is Barry as Arrow and Oliver as the Flash, but apparently something to do with like Barry's body is in Oliver's body, but he's the Flash. I don't know. It's too much to think about.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, our Barry is in the body of a Barry who is actually Oliver in some Elseworld.
Yeah, people don't get to complain about Kingdom Hearts stories anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the big takeaway from this Batwoman is she getting her own show?
I don't know.
I hope she does. I would love a Batwoman show.
It would be awesome for sure. I guess it'll depend on the reception to her appearance during the Elseworld story.
I don't think. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I don't think the CW can do Batman because Fox has the rights for TV for him,
Yeah.
but they can do everything else around it, which is why I think Titans, like they talk about Bruce, they talk about Batman, they talk about it. They go to one of his, penthouses and everything else, but they don't show Batman himself.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they'll have to do here. They won't be able to show Batman, but everything else around him, if we're going to get all the other characters, that would still be cool.
Yeah, I think that's, they're doing the best they can with that.
Yeah. Batman will be sick, man. That from that perspective, we have not gotten that in a TV show. In the Batman verse, we've gotten everything else pretty much. We got young Bruce, we got all this other stuff, but we haven't had Batwoman, which would be neat. So I don't know. Looking forward to that. It's apparently some Sunday, December 9th. But I thought that was cool. Where were we? Game of Thrones final season premiere in April.
Yeah. We've been hearing rumors of everything up until like June, I think.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about like Emmy eligibility, and people were saying like, well, it won't be available, like it won't be eligible for 2019 and left to be 2020 because of where the cutoff is.
Oh, okay.
And that was like June, and I think that's in like June or something, June, July, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, but no, it's gonna be April.
Oh, wow.
It's gonna be about damn time.
Oh yeah. And real fast, I was talking about Titans.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Donna Troy is going to be, I guess, in this season as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they're really building out those characters. I thought that was cool. I forgot about that. Sorry about that. But yeah. So man, jump on Titans if you can. But Game of Thrones, man, that's the, like, when I talk to people and they're like, "What shows do you watch?" And I'm kind of like you, man. Like I've really fallen back on what I have time for. Game of Thrones is the one thing that that's what I'm seeing the moment it comes out, the night it comes out. I have to see it. I can't wait, kind of deal, you know. I can't wait for that to come back. We only have one season left, right?
Of
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it's the last one.
Now, is it split into two, or is it like, does that make sense? Are they going to do like two short things and one little break, or is it just one all the way through?
I think it's just one all the way through.
Okay.
Because it's only going to be a handful. It's only like 6 episodes.
Gotcha. I imagine they're all going to be like how the 9th episode is of every season.
Yes.
Where it's that big epic episode.
They've even said like they're all. I think they're all over an hour or close to it.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So it's going to be epic all the way around.
That's awesome. Cannot wait. We got some Disney news. The Disney Plus service.
Yeah, that's what they're going to call it.
Yep, I like it. That's a great name.
Yeah, I mean it goes hand in hand with ESPN Plus. So I'm like, fine, whatever.
Yeah, and it's Disney kind of Plus, because when you think of Marvel and you think of all that stuff, it's Disney, but it's Plus. Does that make sense?
Because they announced the way that it's going to work. Like, it's going to be a hub with all the different spokes on it. So you're going to have it's all going to be like little different sections. It's going to be Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, and then National Geographic.
Oh, that's awesome.
And those are your 5, at least for the time being.
It's too bad they don't bundle in ESPN with that, because that would be massive.
Well, you have to spend more money somehow.
Right. That's true. Because that would be huge.
They could just slap both of them together and just say, hey, look, do both of these a month for $2 less or something, and people would go flocking to it. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
They did say that a lot of like the particulars and the price and all that stuff are going to be announced in April at an investors call.
Yeah.
So that'll be something to look forward to. They also officially confirmed at least the Loki series. There had been rumors of a Loki one and a Scarlet Witch one, and
the Falcon and
Winter Soldier.
Soldier.
So they're, those are all going to be things. They're just going to wheel them out slowly. Right. The surprise was that they are doing a Cassian series. They are doing him from Rogue One.
Right.
And he will be played by Diego Luna, and it will be live action. And I think that's neat because he has a history with like the budding rebellion.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that'll be neat. And again, I think it'll be another like limited series, like 8-10 episodes, and that'll be the story. And then we'll move on to somebody else, I imagine.
Here's how you get Donald Glover in, for a cameo. Here's how
Right?
you get Han Solo in as a cameo.
Right?
This is how you tell that you flesh out what Solo was trying to do. Here's how you flesh out that story, because we know he all dies right before episode 4. So here's how you tie him into all of that. Here's how you get Ray Park back as Darth Maul. Like, that's how you tell those stories. That's how you tell that underworld. And tie it into the Mandalore stuff that we're going to be seeing. Like, I'm excited for these shows. Like, I'm
Yeah.
super pumped for them. But yeah, that's how you get all those characters in there. Hello?
Yeah. No, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
sorry,
I was
thought I
just.
lost you.
Nah, you're good.
But yeah, that's how you tie in all those characters. That's what I'm excited for. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for those shows. I'm sure during Celebration they'll talk all about that stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So 2019 is gonna be a big year. I hope that we're getting the Mandalorian during that year for sure, right? 2019.
I think so. Yeah.
They have to have that out. If not at launch, but for 2019, because that's going to be the real reason why a lot of people jump on, along with, of course, all the Disney movies and all that good stuff. But that's going to be the big, that's going to be the big seller for like prime time television type stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no question.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have?
Speaking of The Mandalorian, we got some casting news. They basically just made Pedro Pascal official.
Yes.
He'd been rumored for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So this is not a surprise, and this is a good choice. I like him a lot.
Oh yeah.
And Gina Carano has also joined the cast. She, of course, from Deadpool, and an MMA career before that. But
she's a badass.
Yeah, and that's it. Just brings that kind of imposing force to it. So I'm down, man.
Saw what you did there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait to see, because that's what, when I left Solo, I was like, man, I want to see more of this fleshed out, more of this stuff, and we're gonna get that in these shows.
Yep.
And then who knows? Maybe we're gonna get some crossover events like they do at the CW. That would be great.
That's one thing at a time.
I know. I wanted defenders of the Star Wars universe, but actually good. Oh man, you didn't see Daredevil season 3 yet, did you?
Yeah, I did.
We talked about it. That's right. Duh. Sorry,
yeah, because you hadn't seen it yet.
That's right. Yes, that's right. I finished it. It's so good.
It's such a Kingpin story.
It's yeah, you're absolutely right. It's such a shame that all the other shows around it are not as good.
Yeah.
Can we spread the writers around? I don't know. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's definitely a Kingpin story. Man, it was towards the end of it. I was like, God, he keeps winning. I don't know if I like this. I would do Daredevil, do something.
Yeah, well, he keeps trying, and it's just. Kingpin is the best Marvel villain that they've got right now, across anything.
Oh, for sure.
He's
absolutely.
so damn good.
But, yeah, when you see all who's he's all working with and everything, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got a Devil May Cry series, huh?
Yeah, Adi Shankar, who's the EP for Castlevania, is working on a DMC series. And it's not. It may not be for Netflix.
Oh.
It's something he's working on. He's developing. He has the rights to it, so it's his project.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes. Did you finish season 2 yet?
Oh no, I haven't. Sorry. So I saw season 1 and parts of season 2. I think I have an episode or 2 left.
Oh, those are the best ones.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes of season 2 are the best in the whole series. They're awesome.
I gotta watch more.
Take you an hour.
Yeah, that's true. I'll probably watch it tonight.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good, especially that next to last one, man. Because it's so good. That's the one where, because throughout this show, there's little nuggets here and there but there's no like big fan service so much. Like that penultimate episode is where that all pays off. Like that's where you get the like, oh my god, yes, kind of Castlevania moment. That's
okay.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I gotta see that.
Yeah. It's like it's just like the first like 8 minutes of that episode. It's what you wait for. It's absolutely what you wait for.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, it's been it was such a surprise how good that was.
I know, right? Like I was like, okay, how are they going to do this? And like the way they've introduced everything and the way they set everything up, it's like, okay, this is I'm sorry, I'm on Dracula's side on this.
Oh yeah,
like I'm totally down with what he's up to.
They kind of fucked him and his wife over. Yeah, no, I agree. Oh yeah, it's been interesting. I was never a Castlevania fan. I played maybe a handful of minutes of the games, but I don't think you even need to know all of that to enjoy it. You can just enjoy it for what it is, and you're just all these crazy Frankenstein monsters and everything else, and the animation is sick.
Yeah,
like it's kind of a great introduction to to something like anime, essentially.
Yeah, the animation reminds me a lot of Heavy Metal.
Yeah,
like that was my big thing watching that.
Yeah. For sure. Let's see here. What else do we got here? We got the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Christmas episode coming December 14th.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Like, oh, cool, we're gonna get a Christmas episode. Have you been watching that at all?
I haven't caught up. I've seen about 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay.
But life got in the way, and I just haven't had any time. And when I'm just, oh man, these last 2 weeks have sucked. So I feel like when I get a moment, I don't want to watch TV. I'd rather just dive into a comic book.
Fair.
For whatever reason, that's more of an escape. Does that sound like it's so weird to say? Like reading a comic book would be more of an escape than watching TV, but
because you can literally bury your head in a comic book if you want to.
I feel like I'm working my brain more doing that. Where a TV show, I'm just thinking about other things.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm thinking about everything else, but with a comic, like you got to read it and you look at it and you're just you're absorbing it. So yeah, I've been doing that, reading and stuff. So it's just, but yeah, I Chilling Adventures, and it's one of those things like. In the moment, Halloween time, I was into it.
Yeah.
And I started watching a few episodes, and then I had to go do stuff. So, but I definitely want to finish it up. It was really good. It's been really good from what I've seen so far. So, but yeah. So Christmas episodes, that's awesome. Hulu streaming services to be available internationally following Fox deal.
Yeah. So after the first of the year, you'll start seeing Hulu roll out overseas.
Yeah.
So that'll be neat. That's good for everybody outside of the US who wanted Hulu. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's see here. We got Swamp Thing news. Andy Bean, It Chapter 2 to play Dr. Alec Holland. Derek Mears, Friday the 13th to play Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be neat because Derek Mears was Jason for the last couple. I think he was the one that took over from Kane when he stopped doing it because Kane Hodder was Jason for most of them, if not almost all of them.
Gotcha.
And yeah, Mears, he was Jason in the reboot, and I don't think that might have been it. I don't know if he was in the one before that or not, which would have been Freddy vs. Jason, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that was him too or not. But he was doing that. And I think that's neat, to have Andy Bean. I don't know much about, but having him play the human side of Swamp Thing should be interesting.
It's a shame that it's not in the same universe as Titans and Doom Patrol. I gotta be honest.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive. On a June 20th, 2018 article, Swamp Thing TV series won't share continuity with Titans and Doom Patrol.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
Well,
it sucks.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see
That's
about
what I
that.
thought sucked about the or not preacher. What's his face? Oh my god. Oh my god. What's his name? Not preacher.
I don't know,
Oh
man. I don't know what
oh
you're looking for.
boy. Oh boy. Well, you know how they split up the DC shows. Now he's in
What are you looking
oh
for?
tomorrow. Oh god. What's his
Constantine?
Constantine. That's what I'm thinking. I was thinking preacher. Um, that's what kind of sucked about that because I always thought he'd be great with all these other characters.
Yeah.
Um, and when they separate him, it's not kind of what they did with Supergirl. When you separate them, it's like why would you do that? Especially because it's on the same app. Like this is going to be on the same app as Titans and Doom Patrol. Why connect those two and not others?
Yeah. I
Like they have
I
Hawk and Dove are in the second episode of Titans. Like they set up that relationship and that those two characters. Um, I don't know why you wouldn't. I like Swamp Thing would kind of be perfect to tie into all that.
I think that I think that that may have been the plan at the start of just like, hey, we're not gonna make a point of having them be on the same timeline.
Right.
But I think that I like the idea of them saying, look, this is gonna be its own thing. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be beholden to the other shows.
Right.
And I want to hope that that's what they're going for with this. Is that like you don't have to watch this other stuff to enjoy Swamp Thing. But
Oh, I guess he corrected it because people were upset, and he said we have no mandate to tie everything together.
there you go. Say there you go. So
Okay, so that gives me a little bit more hope, and
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. It doesn't have to be like, well, we have to tie in all this stuff. If it mentions briefly, or maybe you get a crossover episode later on, that would be cool. But
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of completely ruling it out.
No, and I think that's
Yeah.
the way to go with it, is to just say, look,
Right.
we're just making these shows.
Right.
If we decide at a later date to cross over or mention or hint or whatever, then we'll do that then. But
Yeah.
for the time being, we're just making TV shows.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, he would Doom Patrol and Titans. Swamp Thing would be kind of cool to see that kind of intertwined. But yeah, I completely agree.
And I would kill to see Constantine drop in on any of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he's in what's the other DC one? The CW one.
He's in Legends. I know that.
Legends. Yeah. Which is secretly the best CW show. Yeah, man, the stuff they do.
Yeah. I would love to see Constantine drop in on Swamp Thing like that. I would buy a lifetime subscription to DC Universe if they did that. Like, no joke. If they were like, look, we're willing to do this.
Oh yeah.
Sold. Done. Absolutely.
Yeah, it gets man, Legends tomorrow. Like I think they fought a unicorn in the new one. Like a unicorn blows a hole in one of them, and Constantine has to pull everything back together. Like
sure.
there's wizards and stuff. Like it gets fucking weird. They fight like pilgrims and stuff, and a giant stuffed bear, and it's so weird. It's the best. It's the best CW show. If you're wanting stupid, dumb comic book fun where they have all these weird characters tied in together and time traveling, that's it. Oh, I've been watching more of the Star Trek.
Oh yeah? How far are you on Discovery?
I'm still on the first season. What just happened in the last one? I saw it was cool because I saw the episode where like they kept repeating time.
Yeah, that was a neat episode. I like that one.
That was a neat episode. I'm trying to think of where we're at now, but it's definitely moving along.
Yeah.
Yeah, because season 2's already out, right?
No.
Oh, season 2's coming.
Yeah, it's not out just yet.
Gotcha.
They've done like the little like one-off like kind of shorter episodes. Like I forget what they call that series.
Yeah.
But that's what they've been doing.
Yeah. I gotta catch up with that, but I've really been enjoying that.
It's such a good show.
It's really good. It's so good. Where were we? Oh yeah, Young Justice season 3's premiering January 4th, 2019.
Cool.
Which is awesome.
It's I still would have liked to have seen this a little sooner, but whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Now, are they going to do it where they come out with one episode a week?
Probably.
Oh, good. That's the one mistake I think they're doing. But I guess it's because they don't have a lot of content up front.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a big point where like season 2 of Titans, they're probably gonna make such a huge deal about like, and oh my god, we're gonna put the whole season out there at once because they're
Yeah.
gonna think that that's special.
Yeah, and the comic stuff on it's so dumb. It's like, here's one issue of Batman in 1932.
Yeah,
Not 1932, but like
I get what you mean.
1983.
Yeah,
And here's one issue of Teen Titans. It's like, what the fuck? Give me a volume. Give
Yeah.
me at least a volume. Give me the Teen Titans Rebirth Volume 1. Because there's been like 4 or 5. Like, give me the first volume. I'm paying for this service. It's so stupid. Because I can go get the Marvel Unlimited app, and I can literally read every Marvel comic. Most of them, the popular ones at least.
Yeah. I mean,
up until a few months ago.
Yeah, like they've put so much of their library on there. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Like you want to know about Moon Knight? There's volumes in there about Moon Knight. You want to read every incarnation of X-Men pretty much? It's all there except for maybe a few months back. It stops.
Yep.
And every week they're adding one more. Like you can read the entire first volume of Darth Vader, the volume 2 all the way up until like issue 17. Like there's just so much there. Especially if you have like an iPad or an Android tablet, like it's really nice. I do it on my phone. It's you do the smart panel. It does one panel at a time, and it's smart. It knows exactly what to show you in what order. So I don't know. It's really good. I wish that's a major thing about the DC app where I'm like, this is stupid. Like who's gonna read this part? Oh, I read one issue of Batman from 1991. Okay.
Yeah.
What, I don't know. But anyway, the Witcher. Netflix releases first look of Henry Cavill as, was it Geralt?
I don't know. It's GIF all over
weird.
again because I've heard Geralt and Geralt, and
Yeah,
I'm I don't care. As the dude from The Witcher, like that's just how I've been doing it. So I was like, okay, cool. It's Henry Cavill in cosplay. Like that's neat.
Exactly.
But that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll still watch it because I'm curious. I like the idea of the universe. Like I said, I've never really played the games. I couldn't get into 3. Like I wanted to. Like I was like, okay, this looks interesting and it seems really interesting, and I just never did.
It's
but
so incredibly long.
Yeah, that was another part of it. Was just I was not in a place for that kind of game at that time.
Yeah, I played hours and hours and hours, and I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I don't care anymore. I imagine a lot of people feel that way about Red Dead.
I don't think so.
That's what I hear.
I think people are playing hours and hours and hours of Red Dead, and they don't want to stop. That's what I've been hearing.
No, I don't know anyone that. All my friends are like, it's cool, but it's way too long, and it's like, I don't know, anyone I've talked to about it, they're just like, I don't care. I'm playing Pokemon Go now. Like they've all moved on to other things. Oh, speaking of Pokemon Go, oh man, if I didn't have such a rough couple of weeks, I'd be playing that right now. Let's go Pikachu. Ugh. But anyway, I digress. Hopefully next week or in a few weeks. There's so many other things I have to pay for in real life that
Yep.
I can't spend money on games or anything like that for actually a while. But that will absolutely be the next thing that I buy, video game wise. But yeah, we got some more TV show news. Supergirl. What's this guy's name?
Oh, John Cryer from 2.5 Men. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cass is Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I've been reading the new Justice League stuff too. Do you want to know about that?
Sure. Shoot.
Okay, so most of it is about the Legion of Doom.
Okay.
Okay. Essentially, I don't want to get too far into it because there's a lot of stuff. What's his face? Oh my God, who's the writer? Who was the writer of Batman Forever? Now it's not the actual movie Batman Forever.
I was gonna say.
But he's now writing Justice League. But he wrote Batman for years.
Snyder, right?
Snyder, that's it. Yeah. God, my mind's going blank right now. Snyder wanted to put in the Legion of Doom the Hall of Doom and all that stuff.
Right.
And that's essentially what he's doing. And this is like the origin of that in the New Justice League books, where Luthor for the longest time in Rebirth was a good guy. Even Superman's like, who could be behind all of this? It can't be Luthor. And Batman's like, yeah, it can't. It absolutely can't. Because I hear the Joker in my head right now. It's got to be Luthor, and then they're gone. So, so long story short, Luthor figured out a way how to get inside of the mind of Superman, and now he is Superman. And the Joker is now in the mind of Batman. And like it's a long story essentially, but Luthor goes into the future, and he finds out that like the villains were right. And in the future, the Luthor is a god essentially to the people that live there, and it has to do with the ring that he found, and he goes into his grandfather's basement. Anyway, it's a long story, but he starts the Legion of Doom, and I don't know, it's been really cool. It's been a really interesting read to see Luthor go from like, hey, I'm good, to like, no, actually I'm bad, and I should embrace it because this is the right path, because this is going to save the world. Because if Luthor does not do what he's trying to do, the world will end. So it's like either the world ends or Luthor becomes the bad guy and the world is saved.
Okay.
Yeah, and it all has to do with like the source wall breaking. That's a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah, that's
Batman Metal. And now that's like just changed everything all over the DC universe. The Flash stuff's the Flash stuff has been great too with Barry versus Wally. But anyway, yeah, I've been reading a lot of comics. Where were we? Sorry, I'm getting so sidetracked. Keep up bringing comics. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
We talked about The Witcher. Let's get into some games. Sony is gonna skip E3 from 2013. Or 2019. I hear it's gonna be called E2 now.
Well, no, E1. I think it's just gonna be E because Nintendo.
Microsoft conference.
Yeah, like Microsoft's the only one that's gonna have a show.
Microsoft Fortnite.
Yeah, no kidding.
I saw the map. Someone put like a map of what the convention center is. It's like 90% Fortnite, and there's like a burger place, and then there's whatever the next Fortnite game is, and Microsoft.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty much it. It'll be what? It'll be Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Bethesda, pretty much.
Now, when they say they're skipping E3, does that mean they're just not doing a conference?
That's what it means. They're not doing a conference. I'm sure they'll still have a presence, like they'll still have a booth and everything, I think.
Gotcha.
But they're not going to do a conference, which is fine. I mean, it's the same. I think it's the same reason they decided not to do PSX this year. I think the way that it falls on the calendar, they were like, look, all our games came out this year, so we're not going to do PSX. Right. We're not going to have a ton to talk about at E3, so we might as well just skip E3. And they'll have a PSX next year. Yeah,
because that's when they're going to announce PlayStation 5.
No.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, 2019. Yeah, sorry. I forgot what year I was in. And then E3...
Next year's when they'll announce it, and they'll have like, well, here's our PlayStation 5, and here are the games we're making for it.
Yeah, and then they'll come back to E3 and have a conference again and give an update on that. Like, it's just, they're just taking the year off, basically.
Right.
They did E3 this year, and then they'll do PSX next year.
And I'm kind of bummed. I mean, we all saw the writing on the wall for years.
Well, once E3 was like, hey, we're going to sell tickets to the public, I was like, oh, you guys are broke, aren't you?
Right.
Like, that
was... Well, and once they saw Nintendo was like, hey, we could just do a direct.
Yeah, and have and that was what they did. Like, they have a booth, and then they do all their news, like, the day after.
Right. And, part of me, I still, even at my age, love the thrill of these announcements.
Oh, hell yes.
And the Giant Bomb's presence there over the last few years have been such a joy watching those midnight streams and stuff like that.
It's
the after show.
It's a different version of Comic-Con. It's where, like you take, for us, it's like, you try to make sure you can get the day off and just spend it, with pizza and beer and watch the press conferences. Like, that's...
And geeking out, not thinking about other things, and just like, and exactly. Geeking out with the conferences, watching the trailers, talking to everybody. And then, like I said, man, that Giant Bomb stuff at night, hearing those interviews, having them sit down and talk to all of these super, these people that are just high up in the business, like, what's his name? Phil from Xbox.
Yeah.
All of that, like, it's so cool. And it sucks a little bit to hear that PlayStation's not going to be there this year, but they'll be there the following year. They'll be there, and they'll be there strong. I think when they,
Yeah, it's
because what was it going to be again? Like we're going to see the same trailers we've seen the last 3 years.
well, but not all of them, because a lot of their games are going to be coming out before E3, aren't they?
Really? Oh, yeah, I guess.
Like
Yeah,
that,
you're
because
right.
yeah, because like
Last of Us.
yeah, because like the first quarter this year is going to be packed.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
like
very
all
true.
that kind of crap. So I mean, we're gonna have they'll have like a medieval trailer,
Yeah.
and I don't know, a couple other things, and
Yeah.
like that would be pretty much it. It's why they didn't have PSX. They're like, look, our games came out. Like we've told you everything about the other ones. We're not gonna have events just for the sake of having events.
Right.
And I
Right.
respect that. I think that's a smart idea.
It's
And
true. And hey, this is a great opportunity for Microsoft.
this is their time to shine. Because what's
Yeah.
funny is Microsoft went to E3 because they used to do their own thing years ago, and
Right.
nobody went to it.
Right.
So
Right.
they were like, well, we might as well go to E3. And
Yeah.
now everybody else is going the other way. Like, well, we
Yeah.
can do our own things. And I think Microsoft's
And,
just kind of standing there holding the bag.
and they're doing great things. I mean, especially with their backwards compatibility. I hope PlayStation, Sony does the same thing with PlayStation 5. I hope that any game that I purchase digitally with PlayStation 4, I should be able to download day one when I get
Yes,
it.
absolutely. No
Yeah,
question.
like all the stuff Microsoft is doing because let's be honest, they had to do it.
Yeah.
But it forced the change. It forced them to go, no, we can do better. We can give people what they want. We hear what you're saying. I love all the stuff they're talking about. The only problem is, and they know it, is their games and that they're buying studios. Which is what they have to do.
I mean, they bought In Exile, which did Wasteland, but I mean, Jesus, they bought Obsidian.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
bought
which
Obsidian, man. I mean,
people
that's...
arguably think is the best Fallout game that they
yeah,
made,
even though it was it put Bethesda to shame when it came to glitches. Like
right.
they, Fallout
See, I
3.
never played it, so
I mean, Fallout when it came out, I will give Obsidian a lot of credit. They had to do a lot of work to patch it, but they did.
Yeah.
But I mean, when Fallout 3 came out and it was a Bethesda game, it was like, hey, look, bugs and glitches everywhere. I don't think a Fallout game could get a whole lot worse than this. And Obsidian came along and said, "Hold my beer."
right.
And because New Vegas was a mess. New Vegas was an unbridled, almost catastrophe when it launched.
Oh wow! I
But
didn't know
if it
that.
worked, here was the thing: it was one of those things where if you hit one of these bugs, I mean, there were some like Assassin's Creed level bugs in this game,
Oh wow!
but they fixed it. They got it fixed and they got it going. And the thing was, the bugs were weird and bizarre, but they weren't terrible. So you would push through it. And if you
Yeah.
stuck with it, I don't argue with anybody who says New Vegas was one of the best or the best. Because I'm not a big Fallout fan, but having played 3, I played New Vegas, I've tried to play 4, and I'm like, New Vegas just has a little less. To me, it had a little less RPG and a little more action to it. Not a big swing, but there was just a little twitch in each direction.
Yeah.
And I think that made it it picked up the pace a little more, and it made it a little more fun and a little more entertaining that way. So I can understand that. I totally can. But I mean, for Microsoft to say we bought Obsidian, like, that's huge.
It's huge, man. They really are, you know, buying up these studios. I think they really want a massive first party presence when they release their next system, which I hope they do, man. I want a reason to buy an Xbox.
I'll tell you, man, Game Pass is a hell of a thing.
That's true. And I saw that they were this isn't official yet, but I saw rumored that they were going to be doing a completely digital Xbox.
I'm pretty sure that's like almost official.
Right, and I love that idea.
It's an Xbox with no disc drive, and
Give me a bigger hard drive, and we're in.
I wonder about that. Like, I think it's just going to be a terabyte. I don't think it's going to be expanded. I think it's just going to be a terabyte, but it's going to have, because the whole thing is like, how do we make it cheaper? Well, we remove the disc drive, and I really think that's going to be all. Like, I don't think it's going to ship. It should ship with a
Well, you
2.
can do expendable storage on it anyway, so it's no big
Yeah,
deal.
but I
Yeah,
still think if
pop
you're
in a 4 terabyte hard drive, you can get for like $100.
yeah, I still think they should at least put in a 2 if they're gonna
I,
take away the disk drive, make it a 2 terabyte hard drive at least.
yeah, because then I'm in, dude.
But
The disk drive. I honestly hope the next systems don't have disk drives. And I know that's crazy because they won't do that because obviously people have these 4K Blu-ray blah blah blah, so that will never happen.
yeah,
But if they had a difference in price, like if they said you could get a PlayStation 5, all the same stuff as your the other version, but it's $50 cheaper. You don't have a disk drive. I would take that one in a heartbeat.
I think I have no problem with that. I have no
Yeah.
problem with 2 different SKUs like that. None at all. Manufacturing wise, that may be a bit of a hassle.
Right. No, I agree. That would be later down the road. But I'm just saying, like, I'd love a system that just doesn't have any of that.
I think I would take that over a Slim. If you're
Yeah.
gonna do, here's the console, and then 2 years later, oh, here's the Slim for $100 less. Instead, just here's the upgraded version, but no disk drive, $100 less. I'm okay with that. I'm alright.
I'd also like the next PlayStation not sound like it's a helicarrier taking off.
Man, no joke.
That is the worst part about them.
It
just that's one of the reasons why I sold the other one. I was gonna get that Pro, and it's so loud when it was. I'm like, there's no way I can clean this thing out properly, and the disk drive stopped working. So I was just like, I need to get rid of this before it just completely dies.
I've had the same problem with mine.
The wheels were falling off. I was like, I'll go get the cash for it now at GameStop, but I kind of regret it now because I don't have a PlayStation, and the pros are out now. But God, man, life, man, throws some curveballs with cars and everything else. So it's like, well, I got to spend all this money on all this other stuff right now. But it sucks being an adult. I just want to spend money on games and shit. But yeah. But yeah, man. So yeah, they're skipping E3. They purchased those studios. Crackdown got a release date.
Well, Microsoft's not skipping E3.
I'm sorry. Yes, Microsoft's not skipping E3. Yeah. They bought the studios. They got a Crackdown release date.
Yeah, February 15th.
Awesome. We got some Game Pass, getting some new games.
Yeah, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds out now.
Awesome.
I basically feel bad for anybody who ever bought that game because it's been given away for free everywhere.
Right.
If you paid for an edition of that game, I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Really yeah. Well, I paid for edition of that, and I paid for what's the other one that's super popular?
Fortnite.
My mind's going blank right now. Yes, Fortnite. Because I paid for that to play it early on PlayStation, and it was like a month, and then a month went by, and they were like, "Oh, it's free now."
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which was nominated for all kinds of Game Awards stuff last year,
right.
Is going to be out December 17th. Ori and the Blind Forest, which was awesome and beautiful and fantastic, December 20th. And then Ori and the Will of the Wisps next year sometime. Kingdom 2 Crowns, which I know nothing about, coming December of next year, apparently. Aftercharge in January, don't know that one. Supermarket Shriek, which is a funny kind of play on Supermarket Sweep. Available next year. Void Bastards next year. Pathologic, Secret Neighbor, The Good Life, none of those have release dates. Thief of Thieves, based on the Image comic, is available now. Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden, no official date. MXGP 3, out tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Along with Agents of Mayhem and Thomas Was Alone. So that's quite a Game Pass lineup.
Oh, yeah.
And Game Pass, absolutely worth the money. $10 a month, sold. Done.
Oh, yeah. Buy an Xbox for sure. For sure.
You can now watch YouTube on your Switch.
There you go.
One step closer to Netflix, man. It's coming.
One step closer to Netflix. Yeah.
PUBG is officially coming to PS4 December 7th. So that's a thing that's happening.
Yep, about a year too late.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
now that that's kind of come and gone. Everyone's on Fortnite.
Yep.
I don't know how it is on console. I'm kind of that snob that's like, I prefer PUBG definitely over Fortnite, but I don't know. I've never played it on console, so I couldn't tell you how it plays there.
There's too many 12-year-olds whose parents have hired tutors for them on Fortnite for my taste.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We got some PS Plus games out for November.
Yeah, the PS4 stuff is Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition and Yakuza Kiwami, which is basically just Yakuza remastered.
Yeah.
The PS3 stuff, Jackbox Party Pack 2 and Arcado series. Sure, whatever. And then the PS Vita and 4 Cross-Buy, Roundabout, and Burly Men at Sea.
Oh, okay. Burly Men at Sea. That's funny.
Yeah. Did you bang out your PS2 games list by any chance?
Oh my god, I did not. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I forgot. Were we doing 10 or 20? I don't even remember.
Can we come back and do that next week?
Yeah, we'll do that next week.
Yeah, let's do do you want to do 10 or 20?
That's up to you. I don't care.
I could definitely do 10, but you think you can pull out 20?
I think I could do 20.
All right, let's do 20. Let me set my reminder now. I'll actually just do this tonight once we're done, just so I have it finished for next week. I'm gonna put on some arrow and do that. There we go. Okay, I got it set. But yeah. We can talk some wrestling. What did you think of? Have you watched any of the pay-per-views?
I watched Survivor Series and it was okay.
You didn't watch NXT?
I'm gonna talk about NXT in a minute.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, wait a second. What did you skip the best part?
I'm saving the best for last.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Survivor Series was fine. It nothing really.
Nothing mattered.
No, absolutely none of it really mattered. Bryan and Brock was a good match. Like that's what's and everybody says the same thing. When Brock cares, it's great. He can put on a fantastic match, and they did, and it was great, and I enjoyed it.
I thought the lead up was like, is he a heel, but he was a good guy in the match?
Yeah, none of that made any sense.
No, apparently, like tonight. Well, if you're listening to this, last night he came out and explained his actions, but I don't know what it.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Like,
yeah. Did you hear Greg Miller?
He was there.
Oh, Brock yelling at Greg Miller.
That was amazing.
It's so good.
Like that's good. That's a highlight of his life, I guarantee.
Oh yeah, they did a close up on his wife doing the oh no face, like.
Yeah, it took me a minute. When they showed that, I was like, wait, I recognize her because I don't follow Kind of Funny all that closely, but like I was like, where do I know her from? And then I saw it in our group, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. And him just screaming like, "Paul, get him under control!"
Yeah,
I love how Greg just takes it all so seriously when he's yelling.
Yeah.
Get control of the ref, man! You're killing him. Just end it already.
It's all right. Shane's dead now. You can cover him.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Oh man, he did like the Instagram video or whatever of Shane just looking straight up at him, dead on the ground.
Yeah,
it was great.
I was like, that needs to be a banner somewhere, just a still of that. Cause it was fantastic.
I wish he could travel around with the WWE and just sit in the front and yell at them.
Yeah, get him to replace the vampire. Right.
Or exactly. Or did you see fucking Enzo?
Man, I wish he had hit the ground when they dragged him out of there.
Man, oh my god,
go
so
away.
Embarrassing.
Go away, just
so embarrassing. Like, oh my god, like I'm surprised he would be big on the indie scene. You know what I mean? Like, I think in his head he thinks he's too big for that.
I think that's the problem.
He's too good for that. He's too good for TNA, or he's too good for Ring of Honor. He would be fucking huge in Japan. Imagine Enzo in the Bullet Club. He would be kind of fucking perfect for that. But he's too in his own head. Like he thinks he's like a rapper or something now.
Yeah,
If he was smart, he would capitalize on all that heat and shit and just go to Bullet Club in Japan. Spend a year in Japan.
I don't think Bullet Club would have him though. Because
No?
it's a new Bullet Club now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because it's the Tongans now,
I
and
guess I'm just thinking if he played his cards right. If I was in his shoes, that's what I would have done. I would have ate some humble pie, talked to Cody Rhodes. I guess he's not in it anymore. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whenever all that was happening,
it could have been, yeah, he could have really cashed in and done something with that, but he's like,
he
nope,
became
he's
like a SoundCloud rapper.
yeah, pretty much. He's like, no, that's what I'm doing now. He's like, because that's what
Like I
he's
saw him in a video. He did a video with Takashi 69. It's all this stupid shit.
yeah. It's like,
That guy's
yeah,
going to jail. Did you see that?
yeah.
Feds picked him up. 25 to life. He's looking at. Holy
That'll
shit!
that'll
What an
get
idiot.
pled down. Like he'll get a plea deal on that for something.
You think so?
It always happens.
I honestly think he'll probably die in jail.
We'll see.
They put him in general population. Mexican kid with rainbow hair telling everybody to blah 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 New York City. Now he's in Gen Pop. I don't see him lasting long. And
That's a good point.
Man, that's you could man, I don't know. For the longest time, I thought that kid was just playing it like an act, and now it's very real. It's very fucking real.
Man, that's the problem. And we've talked about this on here before.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it's not a game, people.
Yeah, like when you start living your gimmick, and it's that real. That's why I thought it was weird that Enzo was doing that. Man, it's just so. Like, and that it ties back to Enzo. It's like, at what point do you like that's a gimmick? That's not really you. That's fake. That's the character. Like, but you're going about it so poorly. Where like, and I almost feel like the guy can't tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Like he's all excited that he's kicked out of the Barclays Center. Or where was he? Not the
Staples
Barclays
Center.
Staples Center. Sorry, got my cities confused.
Well, New York, LA, like he'd have been kicked out of there too. Like,
yeah, it's like I don't know. Capitalize on it. Go to Japan. Go do something. I don't know. It's so stupid. But anyway, back to the show.
But I mean, that match was fine. Most of the other matches were the same thing. It was like, it was fine. It didn't mean anything. But
there were a couple good ones.
But Ronda and Charlotte, holy hell. Like, that was a fight. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was
really good.
That was a fantastic match. And I like the finish. And I disagree with everybody who's like, oh, they're trying to transfer Becky's heat onto Charlotte. No. They're
capitalized a little bit on that, but what else were they going to do?
Right, but they're not trying to steal that from Becky. Like I've been hearing that, and I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like this is Johnny Gargano turning around. This is Sami Zayn turning around. It's right. Charlotte turning around. It's the same thing. It's just, okay, you know what? You're right. Screw this. Like I have to take this, and I'm like, God, man, she beat the hell out of her with that kendo stick, man.
Oh, she absolutely did.
I broke the one, and I mean those, even the ones that they use, like they're not as solid as like an actual martial arts training kendo stick, but they're still fairly sturdy.
Yep.
But good, and I liked the promo that Ronda came out and cut on Monday, because it was more her speed.
Right.
It was more her style of, I am a badass and here's why. I hated the millennial man crap. I hated that so much because God, that was so stupid.
Oh yeah.
I've read all the bad articles about millennials and I think that's what Becky Lynch is. And I was like, God, it's just bad.
It doesn't make any sense. How old is Ronda?
She's a millennial, I'm pretty sure.
I'm like, what?
I was like, I'm pretty sure that she qualifies. I'm pretty sure that her husband's around the same age. I'm like, if anything, you guys are breaking the stereotype, but just it was a weird and bizarre promo. But this week was very much more of like, it doesn't matter how, but yeah, I'm beat up, but you know what? I'm still the champ, and you come out here and you defend your title because that's what you do. And it was more that kind of line of things. I was like, oh, okay, now we're back on track. Now we're getting somewhere.
Right.
But I mean, that one was good. But anything, I mean, like the two Like those two matches, the women's match and the men's titles, the champion versus
I
champ
like
match.
Seth and Knock. I mean, and the best match of the night to me was the 205 match.
That one was. I mean, those are always great, man. Anybody
Yeah.
who's not watching 205 live is so missing out.
Yeah, that's me. Like that's the thing. I unfortunately, and that's the crazy thing is I know it's good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad this got a spotlight. It wasn't just put on the pre-show where it doesn't exist. There's no canon on the pre-show.
Yeah, no kidding.
Man, the best thing about SmackDown tonight, which is tomorrow if you're listening, or yesterday if you're listening, was Xavier Woods came out with the 6-1 shirt. The best part of SmackDown was New Day tonight. Like to see Xavier Woods hit Sheamus with a turkey was fantastic.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see this.
Yeah. So like they should have put that kind of stuff on the show. That kind of humor stuff to me is fun as hell. But when you have dude pissing his pants,
yeah, like
that's the kind of stuff where like that's when I'm embarrassed to tell people that I'm watching wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those parts right there are the stigma parts. Where it's like instead I'd rather be showing people NXT. Like, oh, you're not into wrestling? Watch this.
Yeah.
Show them. This is what wrestling is.
Show them War Games. War Games was it was basically a 4-match affair. Matt Riddle came out and did his thing, and he and Cassius Ohno had that encounter, which worked. I mean, it worked for Matt, and it established him, and I'm excited about him going forward.
Oh yeah.
But in reality, it was a 4-match show, and they're like the 2 out of 3 falls women's match was a little wonky at times, but it was still really good.
So good.
Gargano and Black was fantastic. I loved the psychology in it. Like those guys were amazing, and I loved the War Games match. It was great. It was fantastic. The storytelling was phenomenal. Ricochet doing a 720 moonsault off the top of that cage. Holy cow!
Mamma mia!
No kidding. But
man,
I mean, match of the night for me: Ciampa and Dream. Give Velveteen Dream all of the everything. He is amazing, and I love that he came out as Hollywood Hogan. I love it. He's like, no, this is all mine now. Like he's just like, no, I own this. This is mine.
Yeah,
like this.
Yeah, I love that. Pound for pound, arguably, and I keep thinking this over. This was probably my favorite WWE pay-per-view, and I keep calling him that, and I don't care. I'll always call it that.
Well, because I mean, even they call him that still.
Exactly. Yeah, this was my favorite pay-per-view since I've started watching wrestling again.
It was so good. Like there was not. I can't understand. Like how many people did I see in the group who were like, "It was okay." It's like you guys. I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
This is the pay-per-view you hand to someone who doesn't watch wrestling, who hasn't seen it since high school, and is like, I don't really get it. I've grown out of it. It's not for me. The WWE, because they think of the pissing the pants shit. They think of the stupid shit like that, and it's like, no. Watch this. You don't even need to know anything.
No, just
show them. You give them a little bit of history.
Well, the video packages tell their own stories.
Johnny and them.
Yeah.
But in Ciampa, you give them a little bit of that history, and then let it go, and then you let them watch it because they tell such a great story in the ring.
Yeah, and for as much as I loved the Ciampa and Dream match, and it was my match of the night, my favorite moment was after Black hit the first Black Mass, and Johnny just slumped against him, and he stood him back up again and took that pause and just said, "I absolve you of your sins," and hit him again. And I was like,
it's fucking anime. Like, it is so anime, and and Johnny coming out with the Punisher outfit.
Yes.
He's the bad guy who thinks he's the good guy.
It was perfect. It was
like
so perfect.
It's so fucking and he came out with the Captain America one before, like little things like that.
Well, because it was Captain America when it was like when he and Ciampa were first gonna go at it, like it was the Cap gear, and then when he was like as he started to turn, like the last match he had against Ciampa was the half Spider-Man, half Venom gear.
Right.
And now he's doing the Punisher gear. I'm like, this is beautiful, man.
It's so beautiful. And it's little things like that. You don't see this on the main roster.
No, hell no.
Like, who's writing this stuff? They have Velveteen Dream write Raw, please.
Dude, I'm telling you what.
Oh my
It
God! Like,
just
and and a lot of people complain about the barriers. I love those old school barriers.
yeah, I can't imagine they feel too good.
I loved seeing that because it just reminds me of like old school WCW, WWF back in the
Yeah.
day. I don't know, but it just I don't know. Like even like I said, the little tiny details of him coming out with the Punisher gear because he's the bad guy who thinks he's the good guy.
Yeah.
That is it's so perfect. And like you said, with him, I absolve you of your sins. Like it's just so
Ah,
fucking good.
the storytelling that they do in the ring is
Yeah.
ridiculous, and I mean, of course, the athleticism is there and everything. That's almost a given anymore, but the stories that they tell in that ring are just unbelievable. It's
NXT is the best show they have going. It is.
oh, full stop. Like there's
After watching that, you're like, how do they do anything the next day?
they
Survivor Series. How
they
does it even
don't
compete?
just don't even try. Like
Yeah,
never gonna be the same.
and you get glimpses of it with like what Becky's doing with her character when the man comes around and stuff
Oh
like that. Like
man,
you get
like
moments of that.
it's and if I hate using the phrase if they're smart because they're not, but just let Becky keep being Becky and let the fans respond however they want. And I think that's kind of what they just kind of gave up.
Yeah,
And they finally, like, they wanted her to be heel, and the fans were just not having it. And I think they just kind of backed off of it, and were just
yeah,
like, "Look, just go do your thing."
right.
And
Yeah.
oh god, I'm serious. She and Ronda could headline WrestleMania.
Oh,
No,
totally.
no
Absolutely.
question in my mind, and nobody's gonna look at that and go, "Oh, well, it's because before that, it was
Charlotte.
arguably gonna be her and Charlotte, and
Right.
people were gonna look at that and go, well, Charlotte's kind of Roman, and Ronda Rousey's gonna draw the mainstream attention, so of course they're gonna do that." I think that Becky and Ronda main events with no ironic anything, like nobody's watching that out of anything other than a sense of here are two of the baddest performers. Like it is a Rock Austin feel to it.
Do you think Ronda has the potential to turn into a Roman though? Because I saw a little bit of a backlash this weekend when people were just chanting "Thank you, Charlotte" and Becky the whole time.
And here's the thing. It's because and I think part of it is because of the promos that Ronda was doing that were just bad.
That's
And
what I
it's
mean. Like I could totally see her falling into the, well, she's Roman. The company's pushing her because
I
she's Ronda.
yeah, but she in the ring goes
She's
out
great in the
and puts
ring.
on fantastic matches, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think they're gonna kind of lean very slowly into a heel turn because
Yeah, that's what they do. They do have to do that
yes, they
because
because she's
she
set
could
up
beat
for it.
Brock.
Yeah, she's set up for it. Like she
Yeah.
is, she wins at everything. She's the best at it,
And
and that does not lend
beat
itself
Becky Stone
well.
Cold.
Exactly. That doesn't lend itself well to a good guy. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't. You can't be, the king is never great. Like there has to be corruption. Like that has to wear on people to the point where you get CM Punk. Because
Yeah.
that was kind of what
Right.
happened with Punk. Punk was the underdog who triumphed and he held that belt forever. And then, like halfway through it, he had to turn because it was just like, okay, you know what? I am the best in the world. And
Right.
he grabbed that and he ran with that, and Shane McMahon be damned. Like there's no Jesus, Shane
Oh my
McMahon.
God.
But
Did you see? Like I saw what they're trying to do with that. They're trying to make him now go heel.
I'm okay with that. I think they have to. Like
They
you
have
get
to.
like
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
there's no way out other than that.
And they want the
But
Miz to go turn face, which he needs to. The Miz is so over. They no one's booing him. They're just cheering it.
babyface Miz is awful and he's terrible and he needs to stay a heel and just let the crowd cheer him. Like
Yeah,
like
you
he
think?
can't do what Elias did. Like you can't like
Yeah.
cuz I mean, we had Elias turn and it's just it won't work for Miz. Miz is perfect where he is.
I guess I just haven't. I haven't seen the Miz as a face.
Count yourself lucky. It's boring. It's boring as crap.
Oh really?
It's bad because
Yeah.
what makes the Miz great is that
When was the last time he was a face?
it's been years and there's a
But that's
reason
what.
for
But
that.
it's been years since for growth too, though.
Yeah.
Man, him and R-Truth being a face. I don't know. I just think it'd be great.
Him and R-Truth used to be a heel team.
I know. That's what I mean. That's what
I don't. I keep R-Truth with Carmella. I'm sorry. I love like when they paired
It
them
was one of
up.
the best parts of Survivor Series.
Right. Right. Oh my
He'll
god.
always have a job.
Like, and you are not on this team.
Yeah, Baron Corbin. He's like, what are you doing here?
And I like Baron Corbin now.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
what's nuts, because he was crap before, but
He
now
was.
he's really got the range to do what he needs to,
He
and
does.
it's
He's
working
now a
for
little bit
him.
more comedic, and it's funny.
Yeah, he's good at it. He's genuinely
Yep.
good at it. And I mean, Truth, I love R-Truth. I have always really enjoyed R-Truth. I liked R-Truth back when he was K-Quick, which was
Oh, wow.
almost which was I think 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Like, he was in, go watch the Royal Rumble 2001. He's in that. He's K-Quick. That's how
Wow.
long it's been. He used to be with Road Dogg.
Oh, wow.
Like, there was a time where Road Dogg didn't have Billy Gunn, and it was K-Quick and Road Dogg. That's how long ago it's been. That's how long he's been doing this. And then he was in TNA for a while as Ron the Truth Killings.
Right.
And he was part of a team called Truth and Consequences with Consequences Creed.
Right.
Who later became Austin Creed,
Austin
who
Creed,
became
yep.
Xavier Woods. So it's a weird. Oh man, R-Truth has had quite a career.
Oh, yeah.
But there were times. I'm sorry, but Little Jimmy was awful. Like, he had years there where they just wasted him, and that sucked.
Oh, yeah.
But what he's been doing now, I'm sorry, I want a
Just so
Truth TV. I
confused,
need
yeah.
a Truth TV shirt.
Yeah.
I need a Truth TV shirt more than anything. Like, that's what I want. That so bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
No, he takes what they give and he runs with it. He's funny. Yeah, no, I agree. I hated how nothing in that show mattered.
No, it's like, oh, Raw won almost all the matches, and that means what? Raw's better? Like, that doesn't, like, here's the thing, it'll be mentioned for a couple months, and then somebody from whatever brand will win one of the Royal Rumbles, and that'll be all they talk about. Like, it's forgotten.
The crazy thing is I would have had SmackDown win every one of those matches. Because it would have been just a shock.
Yeah.
To see them all win. And what they did to Joe, like, fucking, hey, what did he do to someone backstage?
Here's the thing, though. I'm okay with that in the service of Drew McIntyre. Had it been anybody else on that
Drew
team.
Now. Like,
I love Drew.
I hate how they're pushing him.
I think it's great. I think this
the big reason is because they're pushing him over Braun Strowman.
Well, Braun's out with, like, legitimate injuries, though.
Well, his knees, yeah.
Yeah, between that and the bone spurs he has in his arm. So I was always big on Drew. Like, I liked Drew when they first debuted him, and then he just kind of dropped the ball on a lot of things. And so they let him go, and he went out to the Indies and completely reinvented himself.
Yeah.
And he came back, and you see what he's been doing. And I'm all for it. I'm all for Drew being the next big, like what should have happened was Braun should have been Universal Champ, and he and Drew could have had a year-long feud, and it would have been awesome. It would have been amazing.
Yeah.
That's something that would put people in seats, no question.
Yeah, put Braun and Drew in there. Get rid of Brock. Like, that's who should be on top of Raw. But I honestly want a superstar shakeup.
I after WrestleMania, I'd love for him to do something, because it's been a couple of years. Like, it's time.
It's definitely time. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought it was such a pointless show.
It was. Like, at the end of it, like, we had some good moments, and we had, like, the stuff with Charlotte and Becky and Ronda will carry over, but I don't think much else really will. Like
how long is Becky out?
I don't know, a month-ish, maybe 2.
Okay.
At most. So I don't know. Because I mean,
that's not bad.
It's a broken nose, which is a few weeks, but it's the concussion that's the big thing.
And her social media presence, like her, did you see what she said to Chris Jericho?
She's on Twitter and she's amazing. Yeah.
She's great.
She's
I don't know who's
fantastic.
right. I hope she's writing her shit because it's fantastic.
I think that they're themselves on Twitter, and I think that's why sometimes they get in trouble.
Yeah, because she's like, in Ireland, we call a toilet a Jax.
Yeah.
How coincidental. And I honestly, Nia Jax, she fucked up big time. She's fucked up a lot.
Yeah, but
I'm glad they're capitalizing.
yes,
on it,
this is
though.
exactly what they needed to do with it.
Yeah.
Not bury her because of it, but just say, you know what, fine. She's gonna
Yeah.
get booed for this crap regardless. Own it. And they
Yes.
have, and I love it, and I think it's perfect.
Yeah. I
Because
thought they
she's
booked it perfectly with her pinning.
that was great.
And yeah.
It's great. Like, that was, I mean, it sucked, but it was great because that's exactly what you want. Like, that is a heel. We
The
haven't
best things in wrestling happen because of mistakes.
Yes, and you just grab it and run with it.
We
Like,
would have never gotten Stone Cold Steve Austin.
no, because Triple H was going to win King of the Ring that year.
Yep.
And I mean, the stories go on and on and on. There's
Right.
12 billion examples of like, well,
Yeah.
this messed up or that didn't happen or somebody missed their flight or
That Finn and Balor moment last year. I think it was at Survivor Series. No, it wasn't Survivor Series. I forgot what it was at. Where we had them face each other for the first time. Like that wasn't going to happen.
TLC. It was TLC
TLC,
last year.
right.
Yeah, with him and AJ. Yeah, because like half of the Raw locker room came down with whatever it was that they all came down with. I can't
Right.
remember what it was. But, so we got Finn and AJ and it was just like, oh my god.
Right, and it's because it goes off script. When
Yeah.
Becky's face is destroyed and bloody and whatever, that's going to be a T-shirt forever.
Yeah.
I'm surprised if they don't change her music to Johnny Cash
I
when she
did.
comes out.
Like no joke.
Yeah, like that. Those are moments where it's like, oh shit, that's not supposed to happen. Especially in a PG era,
Yeah.
we got a bloodied faced woman who doesn't give a fuck.
No, so just let her grab that Stone Cold side of it and run with it because she's
Yes.
got it. And I
That's
have
that
been
brass ring he's talking about.
she's got one for every finger for as much work as she's done. Watching her in NXT, it was, because you saw the Four Horsewomen in NXT,
Right.
and
right.
you knew Charlotte was going to be big because she was Charlotte Flair.
They need to get them all on the same show. They have enough, because at first when they did this, they didn't have enough female wrestlers
Yeah,
where all four of those could be on the same show. Now they arguably do.
yeah, you could
put all four of them on the same show, and then you could put a bunch of others on the other, and you could really do some. That could be a stable, a big stable.
Oh yeah, oh no question, and
Yeah.
and that's I think that definitely leads to a match at some point next year. I would love to see that as a 4-on-4 Survivor Series match next year.
Yep. There
Four
you go. Well,
horsewomen
didn't
and
you
four-
say, because the other four? I don't really know as well, but it's Ronda.
Shayna, and I for the life of me, I couldn't tell you the other two.
It's the UFC girls, right?
Yeah.
The UFC women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're making they were involved during the match last
Right.
night, and I can't.
Exactly.
And they're building those three in NXT, so
Right.
that inevitably when Shayna gets called up, the other two are going to come with her, and that's why I think they're going to slowly start to work on a Ronda heel turn.
Yeah.
Because it's stupid to not have them together. And you will have, if they're smart, by Survivor Series next year could be main evented easily by the Four Horsewomen of MMA and the Four Horsewomen of NXT.
Yes.
No question. I
And-
know
and they're
everybody.
making the Four Horsemen women just as dangerous looking the way they're booking Charlotte
Yes.
and Becky. They're making them like these women can take a punch and
Yeah.
punch you right back.
So we need So we need them to let Sasha and Bailey step back up to what they were.
Exactly.
they need-
That's the other side of the coin. Is like they have it in them, but
Yes.
they've been pushed back so much, and it's because they've been on Raw.
Yeah.
When you have Bliss and you have Ronda and you have all these other people, they're being left aside.
Yeah.
It's
If they need to start building them slowly. Do it, take your time with it. You've got a year. But I think you get Becky Ronda
Yep.
at Mania, and then you build to a 4-on-4 horsewomen match at Survivor Series next year.
that would be crazy.
I think that would work, and I think it would be awesome as
Oh, yeah.
long as the build-up is right. It's Jessamine Duke and somebody else. I cannot remember. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head because I don't want to look it up because I should know this.
Yeah.
But I genuinely do think that if they built this right, like it would be massive. It would be a mammoth thing.
Yeah.
And it's just Marina Shafir. That's the other.
There you go.
But it would be amazing it would work. You have to build it. Like they couldn't just drop them in and say, "Okay, let's do this." Like
Right. No,
they
no. And they are. They're building it right now.
yeah, what they're doing with Shayna works. They're building that stable.
Yeah.
And they'll be dropping hints about Rousey and this and that. And I would not be surprised. And I
Yeah.
know that the other two have not. I don't think they've even officially debuted in NXT yet.
Right. It seemed like they were like, "Oh, she's coming out. She's from blah blah blah." Yeah. They were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But eventually you're gonna have enough women where you can do that. Especially, I mean, by then we might even have a tag division for them.
yeah, and I just these things can work. These things can absolutely work, and they just because these things look like they're more organic now. Like
Yeah.
this angle in particular just looks fantastic, and I
For
mean
sure.
Becky has just been killing it. And
Yep.
she, watching her in NXT was awesome because, like I said, you knew Charlotte was going to be Charlotte. Uh,
Yeah.
watching once Sasha finally found the boss, that was
Yeah.
amazing. Like she is a heel without equal in a lot of
Right.
ways. Like I mean, she made Izzy cry. That was fantastic. Anytime as a bad guy in the ring, you can make a
Yeah.
child cry is great.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, it's mean and sadistic and cruel, but you're supposed to be. That's the point.
Oh yeah.
Bailey, once she became champ in particular,
Yeah.
showed what I heard somebody was great. They were like, she's not a child. She doesn't look at the world like, how come it doesn't work, all sunshine and rainbows? She looks at the world and says, look, she has almost like a Bushido kind of code. Here's how
Yeah.
things ought to be. But you know what? If they're not going to be that way, then I'm going to whoop every ass in front of me.
Right. Right.
And you could see that more and more as she started to grow.
Yeah.
Becky was always kind of the one who didn't seem to have the set persona. But
Right.
she
No.
kept trying and she kept hammering at it. And then when she was the first SmackDown Live Women's Champ, I mean, I was on the ceiling because I was so excited. But
Oh, yeah.
then floundered and couldn't really find
Bliss
anything.
Bliss kind of
Yeah,
Bliss stepped up and really took
yeah.
the
And
women's division by hold. And I
She-
mean, she wasn't even a part of the Four Horsemen. She was kind of in the background of NXT, right?
yeah, she was Little Miss Bliss. Like
Right,
it,
right.
like it was she was sparkly and bubbly, and then
Yeah.
found that heel side towards the end of her run. But when she came up to the main roster, man, she grabbed that persona
Yep.
that she has now and just ran with it.
Oh yeah.
And that worked. And so I mean Becky kind of floundered and this and that, but that turn on Charlotte was finally where she was like, "No,
Right.
this is what it's going to be." And I mean, look at the results. You cannot argue with the results.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean it. People are gonna remember that when she got that crimson mask. I'm telling you, but that
Oh,
is
yeah.
her Stone Cold. That's where it just
Yeah,
that wasn't supposed to happen like that.
No, and that's the moment. And they need to keep capitalizing on it.
Yes.
They're letting Nia capitalize on it, which is great.
Yeah.
I love it, and it's heel heat. Like this is some X-Pac heat. It's
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
and I love it. And I love that they're just running with it. I think it's fantastic. I cannot wait until Becky gets back in the ring because it's going to be amazing. And I am so
What's the
excited for
pay-per-view
all this.
lineup?
Do what?
Sorry, what's the pay-per-view lineup?
TLC is next, and then I don't know what it is. I guess is January the Royal Rumble? Yeah, I think January is the Rumble.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
So-
then it's like, a Payback or Roadblock or one of those, and then maybe Mania.
Yeah, Mania's in April.
Yeah, but it's like
Royal Rumble is always exciting.
Yeah,
January 27th. So December 16th we have TLC,
yeah.
and then now, do you think Braun's not going to be at that, right?
I don't
He's
think.
getting the elbow surgery, like you said.
Yeah, I don't think Braun's gonna be at TLC. He might. He might.
I hope he's just surprised at Rumble. Is like one of the last people to come in and just cleans house.
Nah, because he's facing Brock at the Rumble.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Well, that sucks.
yeah, because that means he's gonna lose.
That means he's gonna lose.
Yeah.
Well, he could still technically join the Rumble, or you think he'll be on after it?
I don't know anymore. Like it used to be the Rumble was last and that was it. But
Right.
they didn't do that last year. Well, I mean they kind of did last year. They did the Women's Rumble. But
They did the Roman's Rumble last, but yeah, no, I mean Roman. I remember went against Owens for the championship, lost, and then joined the Rumble.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
want Braun to win. I want to see him with the championship, even if it's for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm okay. Like, I would be okay with Braun winning the title, McIntyre winning the Rumble, and
that'd be awesome.
and having them at WrestleMania. Like, I think that would be a match.
Yes.
No question.
But they're gonna have Brock at Mania though, for sure, right?
Well,
Didn't he just sign another contract
for 2 shows?
For how many?
For 2 shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think one of them is the Rumble, I guess.
Oh wow. See, I thought it was more than that.
I don't think so. Like, that was
sick.
It was like his contract had been up, and then there was what happened with Roman, so they got him to sign a deal for a couple more appearances.
Okay.
So his, I don't know when it's up, but it may be up at the Rumble.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, hey man, I hope Braun wins, and yeah, Drew McIntyre and Braun for WrestleMania. That would be fucking crazy. That would be awesome. Yeah. That would be awesome. Yeah, we got some great wrestling to look forward to. Survivor Series sucked, but man, we got NXT to look forward to. I need to watch more of that in 205 Live, because anytime I watch pay-per-views, those are the best things.
Yeah.
205 Live was the best match on that show to me, and I didn't even know, I don't even really know the characters.
No, man, I will never forget the Raw in Charlotte that I was at when Lucha House Party debuted. And on Raw, because I love them on 205 Live. Yeah. And then when it was like, up next, Lucha House Party, I'm like, oh, you guys put up the wrong graphic. And then they came out, and I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Oh my god, like, that was insane.
But see, the thing is, like, I've seen Mustafa Ali a bunch of times, and he's always put on great matches.
Yeah.
I only know Buddy Murphy because I've seen him a handful of times. But I knew him because, Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
But when I watched 205 Live, he wasn't on it for a while, and then he was like, Buddy Murphy is now on 205 Live, and he was fantastic. His shorts are weird.
Yeah.
But besides that, he put on a hell of a show.
He wasn't on it originally and then joined it, and like his kind of running story is that he has to keep making weight. Because he's a bigger dude. He usually runs like 203, 204. And there was even a time where he came in at like 206 and a half, so they took him off the show.
Oh wow!
I love that. I really love that. That's an element to that.
Yeah.
But that's why he's a bigger, stronger dude.
Yes.
And they've played it so well. Yeah. 205 Live is great, and NXT is always just killer. Yeah. The best thing about NXT is Nikki Cross right now. If you go back and watch even just her segments from the last month, with everything going on with Aleister Black and all that, she's just been phenomenal. Like, it's been amazing.
I'll go back and watch that.
She is an absolute treasure. She's just so ridiculously good. And don't sleep on Bianca Belair. She is
Nikki Cross Insanity?
Yeah, but she's still on NXT.
Gotcha.
It's weird. She won't be there for much longer, I don't think.
Now, was Aleister Black's ever Insanity?
No, he was his own dude.
He just has that look, I guess.
Yeah, he was, because he had that same look like when he wrestled in Britain. He was big in the UK scene for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that was cool to see. What's his face, Pete Dunne, in the War Games thing.
Man, Pete is so good.
Yeah.
Pete is so damn good, and that whole match, man, that's just,
and his whole uneasy alliance with Ricochet. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, here's Wolverine and Cyclops playing together.
Basically, yeah.
It was cool to see. It was like, here's the bad rogue dude, but like here's like the
Pete Dunne's even the right height.
Right. I was like, this is really cool to see them working together to take out this other team, and it was, I don't know, man. That's the craziest thing is, I know way more about the people on the main roster, and NXT I don't, but it's so much better.
Yeah,
you don't even have to know.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things like I've always had, and especially now that I've dabbled some in it, just massive respect for the video editors over at WWE for the packages they put together. Because they are always incredible. Like, they will get you hyped for a match that you don't care about.
Yeah.
Like they've done some for I can't even remember some of the matches where I was like, yeah, I don't care about this, and then you watch the video package and you get kind of amped.
Yep.
Like they're really good at that, and it gives you enough of the setup, and it does it in a way where you're like, okay, this is the story, this is who's who, this is why, and this is where you need to get excited.
Yeah.
And it's so well done. It's always been that way.
Yeah, I gotta watch it, man.
It's
Gotta go
it's
back
so
and
good. Yeah, definitely go back and watch at least like the last handful of shows of NXT for sure. But
And what sucks is when they get called up, that's when you're like, oh shit, what are they gonna do with these people?
yeah,
They're gonna be put in the back. They're gonna be put on the pre-show in a tag team match.
yeah, pretty much.
Yep. I
Like,
mean, look, but, you know it.
but
I
then
don't know.
on the flip side, you have Elias, who in NXT was not great, and then they called him up and they had him spend a month just wandering around with his guitar.
Right.
And
Well,
I'll
I mean,
never.
but look at the previous. Where's Bobby Roode right now?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like that's the odd dichotomy of this. The champions in NXT, most of them done nothing. Bo Dallas,
Right.
Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Nakamura, Neville. Look what they did with Neville. Like, I mean, these are
Yeah.
everybody.
Some of
who's-
them are like scratching at like Nakamura was right there. They're like, nah,
Yeah, but
nah,
then
we're
you
good.
look at somebody like Elias, who was not tremendously over in NXT.
It's true.
And they brought him up and they had him walk around Raw for a month. My favorite shot was the one during a match where he's just walking down
Yeah.
a row in the crowd.
I wish he still did that. That would be
Like,
fantastic.
it really
It'd be
would.
distracting though. That's the only problem.
A little bit, but
It'd take away from the match.
I think because he's established now for sure.
Yeah.
But they had him do that for a month.
I
And then,
love that. He was just drifting. He was
Yeah.
the drifter.
and then came out and started doing his thing and just got so over. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look at guys who were huge in NXT,
Yeah.
and it's been a mixed bag at best. Sanity was big in NXT. Hell, the Ascension were the most dominant tag team in NXT, and they're a punchline now.
They're a joke now,
They're an
yeah.
absolute
Insanity. I mean,
joke.
I felt like sometimes that like, oh, they were called up, right? But what happened? Where'd they go?
Sanity needs to come out and just destroy everything. That's what Sanity
Yeah.
needed to do. The problem was they got called up at the same time the Bludgeon Brothers debuted. And that was the Bludgeon's gimmick. They were going to come out and just wreck house. But
Right.
with the Bludgeons gone, Sanity needs to come out and just at random times. Just come out during random matches and destroy things and leave.
Right.
That
right.
should be Sanity. But,
Yep. Yeah. Wrestling.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
But I don't know. I'm excited for what's to come. I want to flash forward to the Rumble. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
TLC should be okay.
TLC will be whatever. Like, I'm not really looking forward to anything on it, but I mean,
Right.
it's fine. Whatever. I'll
Yeah.
just keep watching NXT. Like,
Now TLC's a shared show this year, right?
they're all shared.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're all shared now
So
because
we
that
could get more Charlotte Flair Ronda crossover.
potentially, but don't hold your breath.
I like this though.
The fact that here's the thing, we're not going to get those as matches, but we could get them as encounters. Like
That's what I mean.
you could have run-ins or if somebody bumps into somebody backstage. That could absolutely happen. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I hope she runs out and just fucks her up, or behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want that. We need that constant tension between them.
I want and this would be heat on like 15 different levels. I kind of want Becky and Charlotte, if Becky's cleared, hopefully she's cleared, to come out at TLC during Ronda's match with Nia and beat the absolute hell out of both of them.
Yeah.
And then Nia pins Ronda. Like,
Yeah.
just kind of, like, she's just the one that's able to just crawl over and put the arm across, and it's Ronda's first loss. She's protected, but she's not champ,
Yep.
and it gives her license to just obliterate everything. And
how
that's,
much heat would Nia get for being
oh
on
my
that?
god, so much, but it would work. It would absolutely work. And then just have, I mean, even if it's a month, and have, Ronda comes back at the Rumble and challenges Nia and just destroys her. I'd be
Yeah.
fine with that. But for that month, that's where you build Ronda's heel turn, where she doesn't care who you are. If you stand in front of her, she's going to put you down and be vicious about it and ruthless, and have her do it to not just, Nia or Tamina, but I mean, Dana Brooke, Bailey, Sasha, Natalia,
Mhm.
anybody she gets her hands on
Yeah.
just absolutely tears them apart.
Yeah.
And I think but do it not just in the I've been wronged, I'm here to kick ass way, but
Mhm.
just she's snapped, she's vicious, she's mean, she's just out to hurt people.
Oh
She's
yeah.
not proving a point anymore. She's tired of feeling like she's been disrespected and this and that, and she can't get her hands on the people that she wants, so she's gonna take it out on everybody else, and it's gonna be nasty and rough and painful to watch, and that's what they should do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
But,
agree. That sounds great.
if wishes were fishes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man. Do you think real fast before we go, I saw that Alexa Bliss, had so many concussions. You think that's I saw people saying that she might retire, but then like she put on Twitter like I'll be back or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things of like we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So
And that would suck. That would be such a shitty end to such a good career.
yeah, because she was just awesome.
I'm sure they'd make her like GM of Raw or something, but
I would love to have that, like have her replace Corbin, so you have Paige
yeah,
on
but
SmackDown and Alexa on Raw. Like I think that's great.
yeah, but her ring stuff was so good though.
I know, but I mean, if you
Yeah.
can't do it, I mean, so was Paige's. Paige was
Right.
phenomenal in the ring.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it. We'll be back next week. We'll have a lot more to talk about. I'll probably talk way more about comics, just like I did this week, because that's what I'm just super into now. Like I need to
I'm
read the new Fantastic Four and stuff like that.
I'm gonna go
But
rewatch Congo.
yes, go watch Congo. It's man, it's so stupid. It's oh man, because that's the thing is like it's. I remember it being good, but apparently it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So just be prepared.
I need to
Um,
find one of those for next week now. Damn.
oh yeah. And we're gonna do our 20 games that we put in a PS2 classic. We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, so again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast. Make sure you go to our Facebook group, our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Make sure send us an email, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, we put up our podcast every week as well there, so you can listen to us there or on your Apple Podcast or Android. And that's it. We'll see you next week, Captain.
Captain.